The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we're on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Jubilee and Sun City Radio's Keta Saboba, FM Saboba, and A1 Radio Bolgatanga. Get radio, TV, and online content on the MyJoyOnline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up. This morning, 2 children found dead at Kakbayili in the Tamale metropolis of the northern region as residents suspect they were murdered for ritual purposes. We'll tell you how the police had a difficult time Sunday evening controlling angry residents who torched the house of the suspected ritualist. Also, Ghana Standards Authority to close down some cement manufacturing firms identified to be producing at low quality.
And we have noticed that some particular players believe the only way to compete is to reduce the quality of cement. We did close down 3 of them, and I can assure you, in the coming days, a lot more will be closed down.
As major risk to Ghana's program with the fund. Details on the Joy Business Report.
Later.
The moment of truth is finally here.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, the woman of the moment.
Teacher posted to a non-existent school in the Eastern region beats all odds to become JoyNews' Impact Makers 2024 overall winner, pledges to extend her volunteerism to nearby communities.
I intend to help the kids impact more, not only the community I am being posted to, but extend it to other communities.
These are more with me, Mami Sinyamiche Thompson. Details now. And you're hearing sounds of gunshots Sunday evening at Kakbayili in the Tamale metropolis of the northern region, where 2 children have been found dead. Now, residents suspect that the children were murdered for ritual purposes as their decomposed bodies were abandoned in a vehicle behind the house of a man known as Mala Madaha. According to the assemblyman for the area, Hafiz Andani, the 2 children, both aged 3, went missing last Saturday. A search was conducted, but after 2 days of not finding them, an official complaint was made to the police. Police had a difficult time controlling angry residents who torched the house of the suspected ritualist. Joining us now is our Northern Region correspondent, Martina Bugri. Martina, can you share the chronology of events with us?
So what we are learning is that on the 22nd of June, 2 boys went missing in the Kakbayili community. And after 2 days of search and not finding them, the matter was reported to the police. And then some people said they were suspecting a family in the community, and so they reported to the chief palace, and those people were invited to answer questions. But they got overwhelmed because people had come in, and when the family denied, it looked like created tension. So they called in the police, who picked the 2 to the police station. But yesterday, according to the community members, they heard the man on radio being interviewed, and he denied it. And that triggered what happened yesterday, leading to the burning of the house. The people got agitated. They said they suspected that he was a ritualist and should have been kept by the police, but he was granted bail. And that triggered what happened last night.
But do we know where the man is currently?
My sources, no one is able to tell currently where the man is.
Right. Thank you so much. Martina Bugri is our Northern Regional correspondent. Now, away from that, the head pastor of the Calvary Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Fred Digby, is called on the Ghana Bar Association to institute a hall of shame to expose lawyers violating professional ethics. Such a hall, according to him, to sanitize the profession of individuals bent on circumventing the law. He is addressing this year's Martyrs' Day, instituted to remember the gruesome murder of 3 High Court judges and a retired Army officer in 1982 in Accra.
The General Council in the Ghana Bar Association can play a leading role in ensuring that their members are playing according to the rules of the profession. Perhaps a hall of fame that honors the best of standards like we are talking about today can be instituted to award and reward those who are doing well. What may also be needed is a hall of shame. A hall of shame that names and shames recalcitrant, dishonest, sharp, unprofessional practitioners, law twisters, and intellectually dishonest lawyers who send all of us in danger of not knowing where we'll go.
Well, President of the Ghana Bar Association, Yao Boafo-Adjumani, is unhappy with the partisan commentary on high-profile cases before the courts.
It is very sad that public commentary relative to cases of immense public interest pending in courts have taken on a political coloration. There is no training module at the Judicial Training Institute known as MPP judge, NDC judge, CPP judge, for anyone to tag a judge as an MPP judge, an NDC judge, or CPP judge. There is only one judiciary established under Chapter 11 of the 1992 Constitution.
Yao Boafo-Adjumani is Ghana Bar Association president. Now, in the coming days, the Ghana Standards Authority will close down some cement manufacturing firms that are producing at low quality. There are currently 14 licensed cement factories operating in the country. Director General of the authority, Professor Alex Dodu, tells JoyNews some of the firms are using poor quality to compete, a development he finds unacceptable.
The Standards Authority have done research, and we have noticed that some particular players believe the only way to compete is to reduce the quality of cement. We did close down 3 of them, and I can assure you, in the coming days, a lot more will be closed down. Because there's one thing we will not compromise on: quality. Finished. I would say that the legislators, as we do in legislation, are still jaw-jawing to find out what is the best fit, which will not reduce the image of Ghana as a country that promotes free markets.
Now, the third tranche of the International Monetary Fund $360 million release will hit Ghana's account today following a successful review of Ghana's performance by the fund. According to the IMF, Ghana's performance under the program has been generally strong. The finance minister and the IMF's country manager will hold a joint news conference later this afternoon to disclose the details of the latest development. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam is hopeful of better days ahead.
After meeting the requirements for the second review, following the staff level agreement, I'm glad to announce that the IMF Executive Board approved Ghana's second review with overwhelming support for Ghana from the executive directors. Consistent with our resolve to stay the course on the implementation of the $3 billion 3-year IMF-supported with COVID-19 Program for Economic Growth, PCPEG, we successfully hosted an IMF mission in April 2024, which came to Ghana to undertake the second review of the implementation of the program. This is coming after an earlier approval of the first review in January 2024. This is yet an important positive development in our journey towards macroeconomic stability.
Now, imagine being diagnosed with diabetes at age 15 after your mother's leg was amputated due to the same condition. This is the reality Dorcas Olage is struggling to come to terms with. Her story is part of our latest Hotline Documentaries, NCDs, The Silent Epidemic, co-produced by Emmanuel Jivanu and Seram Abla de Souza. Here are excerpts.
I even regretted she was my mother because I was like, if she's not my mother, I wouldn't have gotten that sickness.
A tough admission, though this sentiment has changed over time from gaining a better understanding, the fear of her mother's fate befalling her lingers. Mercy Ogbojo lost her left leg in September 2022. The once busy trader is now confined to her home.
I found it worrying. I was in distress. The doctors advised that they need to amputate my leg to.
Our latest documentary, NCDs, The Silent Epidemic, airs today on the Super Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel. Don't miss it. Now, her story was initially one of mockery when she was posted to a non-existent school in Noka, a community in the eastern region. Despite the challenges, Eunice Esiedwe Japon remained determined to make a difference. Her dedication and hard work won her the overall Joy News Impact Maker Award for 2024. Samuel Imbura has more.
The Joy News Impact Makers Awards is a pioneering social project in Ghana. It celebrates ordinary individuals making an extraordinary impact in their communities. 10 nominees from various thematic areas across the country were called to the stage to be honored.
The moment of truth is finally here.
The woman of the moment, Miss Eunice Asiedu Ejapong.
Eunice Asiedu Ejapong, a young teacher, emerged as the overall impact maker. Despite being posted to a non-existent school, she established a fully operational institution in a church building in the eastern region, growing from 7 to 125 pupils and 9 teachers within 6 months.
I intend to help the kids impact more, not only the community I am being posted to, but extend it to other communities.
And that was our Joy Impact Maker for 2023. And that's how we end Joy News Bulletin here on Joy 99.7 FM. Up next is business on the Super Morning Show.
Jump on go. Google me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go-go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Elam's story began 24 years ago, and it's all led up to this moment. From the first day in senior high school, the laughs when his friend Skelo had 0 in an exam, and M. fans getting broke, narrowly passing Prof. Shiwele's exams. He remembers it all, especially that long advice from Papa about what will really be at stake if he doesn't pass his exams. All for this very moment.
Elam Jakpata, first class honors. Everything to look forward to. And just like Elam's story, Absa Bank believes there's something special about your story. And we invite you to write it with us. Your story matters. Absa.
Do you know what that is? It's the sound of me looking into my Nido 23 grams promo sachet for a code so I can win in the Nido Opatampamo promo.
Become one of the 3 lucky winners of a fully paid family getaway in Nido's Opatampamo promo. Look inside your Nido 23 grams promo sachet for a code. Dial *380*11# and follow the prompts for a chance to win big. This advert is FDA approved.
Life in Denmark can be quite different for an African legend like Michael Essien. The weather, the food, the silence. But there's always a place he can call home.
Home is where your heart is.
Sportybet. Play with champions.
Businesses know how important it is to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is licensed to provide medical insurance services to corporate organizations and SMEs. We also have international LH Blue cover and TPAs to cushion you. Multinational companies, factories, and government agencies, focus on your business while Apex Insurance takes care of your health. Visit Apex Health Insurance office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, Kumase, opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and Takrady Market Circle. For further inquiries, call 0501 562 962 or 0501 552 495. Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
Enimwa, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent, omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi, you mean omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
At your service. For Pepsodent, smiles are one of the most important things we have. The problem is, globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent, with maximum cavity protection, helps to prevent the formation of cavities. Pepsodent, because every smile matters. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Agwavu.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a rough week, but thank God.
Thank
we're
God.
on our feet. Yeah. Speaking of which, you don't have any of these common problems, do you? You don't have hypertension or diabetes, do you?
No, I don't.
Thank God for that. And long may it remain so.
Amen.
Because I'll tell you what, it's not a life you want. I have diabetes and hypertension.
Wow.
Both of them.
Wow.
Now, look, these 2 conditions, the impact is on your blood arteries, right? The vessels through which your blood runs. So, if you have hypertension, what it means is that all kinds of things are gathering within the inner walls of your blood vessels, right? So, what's it called? Cholesterol and fats and plaque and all these things are making the vessel more narrow so that when the blood is running through, it pumps through with more power. Like, if you block half of your water hose with your thumb, right? It makes the water gush out with more pressure.
Yeah.
That's what's happening in your arteries.
Wow.
So the blood is pumping through your organs with more pressure than it should, which will damage things, right?
Yeah.
It also means your heart is working harder than it should. These things lead to death. Now, I have that in addition to diabetes. I had diabetes first, actually. Diabetes is even more of a problem because everything you eat has sugar in it or glucose in it, which is good for your body if you are healthy, if you're normal. Glucose is what you use for energy. Everything you do requires energy. Walking, talking, thinking, blinking. It all requires energy, right? And it comes from the glucose in the food you eat. Your cells absorb that glucose from your bloodstream after you've eaten, right? And then it turns it into energy. But your body needs a certain key for those cells to be able to absorb the glucose from your bloodstream. And that key is an enzyme called insulin. It's created by your pancreas. If there's any problem with the creation of insulin in your body, the blood will never get absorbed by your cells. The sugar will never get absorbed by your cells out of your blood. So it will remain in your blood. Now, if you touch sugar, you see how it feels, granular. Imagine that substance accumulating in your blood. So first of all, your blood is pumping too hard, right?
Yeah.
Which is damaging the walls of your arteries. But now it's also got this granular texture to it, which means that the stuff that is pumping through your organs at a pace that is too fast is also poisonous. That's what's happening in my body every day.
Sorry.
And I have to take medication to deal with it. Medication that costs a fortune. A fortune. The typical diabetic is spending anything from about 7 to 1,400 Ghana cedis every month just to stay alive. I am spending more because my medication is even more expensive. Let's not even talk about that. The average guy, Charlie, it's not easy.
It is not. And I mean, non-communicable diseases, they are the leading cause of death worldwide now.
Yes.
So I was reading that deaths from NCDs now exceed all communicable diseases combined.
Yes. Yes. It doesn't surprise me. About 1.7 billion people die from this thing every single year. It's crazy, man. And as a country, what's our plan? How do you fight a killer you can't see? Well, others are doing it. Others have plans. The point is to prevent it from ever happening.
Yeah.
What are we doing in that direction? Today we'll talk about that and more after the documentary. Okay, 6 a.m. news came to us thanks to Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. And Absa Bank Ghana Limited. Your story matters, which means Akpafu and the team now have the Joy Business Report thanks to Omni Basic Bank at your service.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, IMF cites election-related spending as major risk to Ghana's program with the fund after passing the country on second review and approving disbursement of $360 million. Also coming up, SSNIT rejects claims financial crisis concerns of forcing it to sell stake in 6 hotels as it announces suspension of process following industry regulators' directive. Plus, government insists it has reached agreement with 5 independent power producers to restructure debts owed them, rejecting claims by Chamber of No Engagements on the issue. Details coming up. Thanks for being with us. Hello to our friends listening from Koforidon on KT Radio. My name is Darryl Kwao. IMF is worried that upcoming elections and related spending could derail Ghana's program with the fund. This was captured in a statement issued by the board after it passed the country on the second review and approved disbursement of $360 million. George Yafi has more.
The IMF describes the election challenge as one of the downside risks to the program. It has given it a lot of concerns. It therefore wants government to do more by tightening expenditure controls, which is critical to avoiding slippages ahead of the December 2024 elections. The IMF wants these initiatives to be actively supported by improving tax collections. It also wants to lock down when it comes to improving tax administration and revenue mobilization in the country. But despite these concerns, the fund described the program as being on track, arguing that there are now clear signs of stability emerging. On the banking sector, the IMF still wanted the Bank of Ghana to maintain a tight monetary stance and a flexible exchange rate regime, which is essential for stabilizing the local currency. It also added that the Bank of Ghana should press ahead with recapitalization of the commercial bank and also work to deal with the legacy issues in the banking sector.
George Affe with that report. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has revealed that the $360 million IMF cash should hit the Bank of Ghana's account today. This should bring funds disbursed under the program so far to $1.56 billion. Now, the Finance Minister is promising to stick to program conditions to help stabilize the economy.
This is yet an important positive development in our journey towards macroeconomic stability. We also wish to commend the IMF, the World Bank, and all other development partners for their support to Ghana. Let me also take advantage of this opportunity to thank the people of Ghana for your patience. I am very confident that we can travel this journey together and bring back an economy that is strong enough to deliver the benefits and the development to you all over the country.
You heard the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. Joy Business understands that the process to aid the transfer to Ghana started last Friday when all the documentation was sent to the Finance Department of the IMF. Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituaini has warned that Ghana could return to a debt-distressed country by 2029 if measures are not put in place to retire restricted debt by that time. He is calling for a national forum to strategically plan for payments of Ghana's debt in the future. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Ituaini said there is the need to end the debt cycle to help Ghana accelerate its economic development.
It is not a question for glorification or jubilation. What they should do is that what strategies are we putting ahead so that when this interest and principal become the payments accrued on its due, we'll be able to pay. Other than that, as I've said in various forums, and I'm going to say it here, if we don't take it, we are going to the debt trajectory posture of Argentina and Greek. For every 4 years, they go to IMF for debt restructuring.
Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuaine. State Pension Trust SSNIT is rejecting claims that it is facing some financial crisis and possible collapse of the pension scheme, and that has forced its move to sell 60% stake in some hotels. More in this report following a media engagement on its operations.
SSNIT maintains that it has carried out its operations in a manner that ensures that it remains liquid to meet all its financial obligations. This is despite the fact it has most of its investment in some fixed assets, and also the fact that government in some circumstances had issued bonds to settle contributions of public sector workers. But SSNIT maintains it has a robust treasury system in place to ensure that it never defaults on payment of SSNIT contribution. The Director General at a media engagement also rejected a report that the pension scheme is expected to collapse in the next 10 years, insisting they had instituted some measures to deal with all the concerns. On sale of 60% stake in hotels, the SSNIT Director General noted that the process has been halted in line with the directive from the National Pensions Regulatory Authority.
Moving on, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers COPEC has doubled down on its call together with the LPG Marketers Association for government to reduce taxes on LPG. This is coming at a time that prices of LPG and other petroleum products are expected to go up by more than 2% beginning today. Duncan Amwa is Executive Secretary of COPEC.
In other places, LPG is a subsidized product because it has a certain effect on the environment. To the contrary here, we are rather increasing taxes on LPG, or we've had to put taxes on LPG, which today means that penetration is less than 25%. What that means is that 75% of all domestic use, as far as fuel source is concerned, is charcoal or other fuel wood. And that clearly has a very harmful effect on the environment.
Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa. Government has reached an agreement to restructure debt owed by some individual power producers. It is therefore rejecting the claims by the Chamber of Independent Power Producers that there has not been any engagement as such. Here's more in this report.
Government says Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam had always maintained these engagements to restructure the debts had been with the individual power producers and not the chamber. It therefore found the claim by the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Independent Power Producers of discrediting Finance Minister's announcement of progress as interesting. Government sources have maintained that all the other independent power producers like Senpower, Amendi, Early Power, AXA and Senate have all accepted the restructured deal which was negotiated in London. However, only Asogli and Car Power are yet to be engaged because of challenging demands. But government maintained that it is committed to reaching an agreement with them soon. It revealed that in the case of Asogli, there has been an engagement with the owners in China. Joy Business engaged AXA and Senate, and they have all confirmed that indeed a debt deal has been reached with AXA and Senate. AXA, for instance, told Joy Business a deal will be signed with government next week.
You're listening to the Joy Business Report. Government recorded about 12.79% oversubscription of treasury bills. That's according to the latest T-bills auction by the Bank of Ghana. Interest rates, however, stayed unchanged. Here's more.
According to the auction results, the government got 2.99 billion cedis against the target of 2.65 billion cedis. About 2.358 billion, representing 88.7%, were bids tendered for the 91-day bill. All the bids were accepted. For the 182-day bill, the government got 573.45 million cedis from the investors. The uptake was the same. Only 64.31 million cedis were tendered for the 364-day bill. Meanwhile, interest rates remained stable across the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill was 24.86%, while that of the 182-day bill stayed the same at 26.80%. The rate on the 364-day bill was also steady at 27.78%.
Well, the Ghana Stock Exchange will continue its strong performance so far this year based on the market's demands and supply dynamics. Unilever, Total Energies and Guinness Ghana Breweries are expected to post gains this week. Here's Data Bank researchers Grace Munayon with a preview of trading on their crabbers.
Last week's trading concluded with 8 price movers consisting of 7 Guinness and a laggard. The Guinness were Unilever Ghana, Atlantic Lithium, Fan Milk, Guinness Ghana Breweries, MTN Ghana, Ben's Oil Palm Plantation, and Standard Chartered Bank. However, New Gold closed the week as a sole laggard. Accordingly, the market indices increased 1.08% apiece, with the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index ending at a year-to-date gain of 22.34%, whereas the Data Bank Stock Index ended at 22.24% year-to-date. Weekly turnover totaled 67.7 million Ghana cedis from the sale of 35.8 million shares across 20 counters. MTN Ghana dominated trading activity, accounting for 94% of the aggregate turnover. Based on the market's demand and supply dynamics, we expect Unilever Ghana, Total Energies, and Guinness Ghana Breweries to post some gains this week. For Joy Business Reports, Grace Munanyun of Databank Research.
And before we go, let's look at the markets for you on the currency market this morning. The dollar going for 15 cedis, 43 pesos. The pound, 19 cedis, 51 pesos. The euro going for 16 cedis, 51 pesos. On the commodity market, crude oil going for $85.40 a barrel this morning after a marginal jump from yesterday's trading. Gold went down by more than $6. It's selling this morning at $2,320 an ounce. Cocoa shot up by $458 as trading this morning at $7,731 a ton. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The Super Morning Show continues with Kojo Yankson and the team.
So, I'm sure I've told you about what happens in the UK where they have this 5-a-day campaign. So, as a nation, they've decided that they want to prevent the bill that they have to spend on non-communicable diseases.
Okay.
So what they are doing is making sure that as few people as possible get non-communicable diseases.
Wow.
Save themselves the money of treating them. So they have this policy that says everybody must eat 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day.
Oh.
Yes. It's a policy. Now, how do they make people do it?
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you enforce that?
There are adverts everywhere. Every product that contains a portion of fruit or vegetable, it is placed on it that this product makes up 1 of your 5 a day. Or some products make up 2 of your 5 a day. Right? So as a person who has seen the adverts telling you that you must eat 5 portions a day, if your favorite, if you go to the supermarket and you want fruit juice, and one of them has the label on it that this pack of fruit juice makes up 1 of your 5 a day, you obviously buy that one because it means you are meeting the government requirement.
Wow. That's some thinking going into
exactly.
that.
And the people who are selling these products are making more money because their product is meeting the national standard.
Yeah.
So people are buying that one instead of others that don't meet the requirement. Right? And the FDA supervises it. So if your product does not contain a portion of fruit, you cannot put that sticker on it.
Yeah.
They won't allow it. So people trust what they pick up off the shelf. They know that they are meeting their 5 a day. So they are healthier and they are not becoming a burden on the state.
Wow.
See how it works?
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm just... What are we doing about it here? What thinking is going into it?
That's my question. What are we doing? What is our strategy? What have we decided is the way to deal with this bill that we can't already? Now the NHI is strained to the gills. We cannot handle the bill.
We've got to start from somewhere. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but who is taking the initiative? Who is taking the initiative to make us do the things that will save us? Because here in Ghana, your NHI will not pay. You will pay.
Yeah.
Anyway, some thinking must go into it. We'll see about that. Okay, I thought today we'd enjoy an old classic, something that we both like very much.
Okay.
Hezekiah Walker.
Okay.
Yeah, better.
Hello, how you doing?
Much better, thank you.
Oh, okay. We thank God. Yeah, it's going to get better.
Yes, indeed.
Whether they like it or not, it will get better.
Amen.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, let's get into our Drive Safe campaign, brought to us by JoyNews and the Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Superior Quality. So our tip today says, when in doubt, yield. So defensive drivers know when to yield in uncertain situations. If you're unsure of how to proceed in an intersection or a traffic sign is missing or has been hit and is not clearly visible, practice the defensive driving technique of yielding to uncertainty. Once you've determined it's safe to continue, please do so. And as our tip for today.
Now we cannot learn how to say it right, and it's brought to you by Kingdom Books. Kingdom quality and affordability are their hallmarks, and Societe Generale Bank Ghana. The future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
It's nice to be back at work. You might say it's hard to contain my joy at being back with you on Joy. Notice what I did there? And I'm sure you also noticed how I pronounced contain. C-O-N-T-A-I-N. Contain. I'd have thought that was an easy enough word to pronounce, but have you heard some people say contain? I wonder where they get the H sound from. Beats me, though. It's such an uncommon pronunciation for such a common word. Contain comes from two Latin words, actually. Con, which means with, and teneo, which means to bind, to hold, to restrain, to confine, to detain, or to control. So please remember, it's contain, not contain. That's not how to say it right. That's how it is. Yeah. Okay. So the news review now brought to you by Syntex Tank, a stronger, a tough, and Access Bank, more than banking.
Let me start with the Daily Graphic, and it's reporting the biggest story. In fact, Aveni Markin has been hinting at it whenever in the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana the minority raises an issue. You say, oh, we are bringing the free SHS bill. Then the matter becomes free SHS conversation. So free SHS bill go to Parliament this week. So we have they are seeking cancellation of BEC for SHS admissions, and SHS is supposed to be 6 years. This is a matter that the current education minister has raised before. I remember somewhere 2022 when I interviewed him, he said that we should take out of basic education junior high school and add it to senior high school. So there's secondary education, which will be 6 years. 3 years junior, the other 3 is senior, and which will be the other part. But that's not the only thing that our free SHS bill is promising. The main issue that many people have had conversations around is that, of course, the bill which was drafted by the Education Ministry, it will protect free SHS and will also give it the needed protection so that currently it is a belief any government can make changes to it. This is despite the constitutional provisions that says you should do progressively free education and all your projects should be in line with that. In fact, specifically, the minister was speaking to journalists in his office when he was explaining this particular one. We know that 1992 Constitution already guarantees FQ, free compulsory universal basic education. Indeed, under Article 38 of 1992 Constitution, it said the states provide educational facilities at all levels, including all regions of Ghana, and shall, to the greater extent feasible, make those facilities available to all citizens. There is also the indication in the law that the people who want basic education should be given basic education. But Dr. Chum is saying that, as is supposed to be the case now, when the first certificate you have in your life will be the SHS certificate, not a BEC certificate.
So in effect, all they are doing is that the exams that you write, which
BEC's
guarantees you a basic education certificate, would now be used as placement into secondary schools.
Okay.
And so you still will go through JSS, and still write exam, but this time around, it will be like the olden days when you write exam, and then it's used in placing you in secondary schools. That's what it says, really. So it's the same system, isn't it? Just that today, you're not going to write BEC.
Now, the other story that should be of interest to you, Kojo Jansen, is that SSNIT Rock City negotiations stall. So, negotiations between Tier 1 pension operator, that is SSNIT, and Rock City over the sale of 60% of its stake in 4 of its hotels have stalled. This is because there are major challenges regarding the payment terms of the deal. The Director General of SSNIT, Kofi Osafo, he said, breaking the silence over the matter to, again, some journalists. Now, Rock City, owned solely by the Minister of Food and Agriculture, won a bid to secure 60%. Now we know for sure, but there's been controversy over the matter. But the SSNIT Director General says, we want the best for the trust, and therefore we will ensure that whatever is agreed on is in the best interest of the pensions contributor. He said it as a media encounter in a Brie in the Eastern region last weekend. He also answered the question from the Daily Graphic on whether Rock City has the financial wherewithal to acquire the stake in the bid they won. Now, his response was in the affirmative, but was quick to add that until we see the money and the payment plan agreed according to our terms, there will be no deal.
So there's a payment plan.
Agreed according to their terms.
There is a payment plan. That's my point.
Yeah, that is what he's saying.
Okay.
However, he says SSNIT will continue to engage stakeholders on the matter. But we all know that the National Pensions Regulatory Authority last Friday directed SSNIT to suspend ongoing negotiations with Rock City over the sale of the 4 hotels. In fact, in a letter to SSNIT, the NPR stated categorically that you may be aware, Section 672 requires us to issue relevant guidelines to guide your investment decisions. NPR says, in furtherance of this, you are hereby directed by the board of the authority to suspend all your processes seeking to engage Rock City Hotel as a strategic investor in the matter of the sale of their berth hotels.
As the provider of guidelines, are they able to step into a particular deal if the deal is determined to already meet the guidelines they provided? Can they come in and still say,
they have to make the determination whether or not it meets their guidelines in the first place. So
I'm just interested in, when the SSNIT Director General says the payment plan
that's interesting
must meet. Now, in discussions with them before they settled on Rock City, what financial arrangements did they present?
Again, Rock City won a bid and were told by 2 major criteria in that first press release: financial and technical requirements.
So what financial proposal did they present to SSNIT? It will be interesting to know what proposals they presented to SSNIT and how come SSNIT accepted their bid only to turn around and inform all of us that if that, because even before you get to negotiations, you'd have asked all of them, what's their plan? How do they intend to pay? Do you just accept that, okay, $61 million, that's what we're accepting, then they go and come back and then pay you in installments, or they give you the money up front?
So, look, another couple of things to note. You remember that one of the original accusations of Kujata Ablakwa against this deal was that he suspected that Rock City was going to be given these hotels under a payment plan, which would mean that Rock City could run the hotels and use the profit to pay for the hotels. And you remember we put this, he put this question directly to Brian Achampong on this show. Brian Achampong said a company that would agree to such a deal would be irresponsible. We have the clip.
Yes, here.
Right? Brian Achampong said that here. Any company that will agree to a payment plan for such a deal would be irresponsible. But now we hear SSNIT saying they are now waiting to see the payment plan from Rock City. What's going on?
Okay, Roman, let's get into the daily guide for today. And big one says, Blaze sues Ablakwa for 20 million Ghana cedis. And the story on page 3 says the Chief Executive Officer of Daily Guide newspaper, Kwame Blay, now he sued the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, over unsubstantiated defamatory statements in both traditional and social media. And according to the suit, it says the MPs caused damage to his reputation, resulting in him losing an investment from his business partners who were ready to invest over $10 million in the plaintiff's affordable housing projects. Now, we're told that the plaintiff is a businessman, Raymond, who owns multi-million-dollar companies within Ghana, the United States, including Terraform Limited, New Image Technology Transfer Limited, Sustainable Housing Solutions Limited, Cultural Management Group Limited, BBNZ Live Limited, among others.
Who is this?
Kwame Blay. He's
somebody we know?
Yes, he's the son of Freddie Blay.
Freddie Blay's son, the one who we are told had wanted to buy the SSNIT hotels.
Yes, together with his partners for between 150 to $200 million.
Okay.
Does you want to make a point, Raymond?
I was just fascinated that there was $200 million on the table, but we perhaps settle for 61 million without a payment plan, or with a yet to be released or yet to be updated payment plan. Really?
Well, let me still continue. An IGP leaked tape, COP Mensa, two others cited for misconduct. That's according to the Daily Guide reporting that the committee cites that 3 for misconduct. But also here, Dampare is still in office.
The police issued a statement like that.
Yes, that is fake news. GCB Bank post remarkable 2023 performance. And also on the front page says NPP MPs embrace NAPO as running mate. According to the Daily Guide, there was a meeting on Friday between the majority caucus and the vice president. And in that meeting, he told them that his choice was Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh, and they all embraced him.
All, including Andy Apiakubi.
That's what I was going to ask. Was Andy Apiakubi
could be in that particular meeting?
And they embraced him.
I see. Interesting. Embracing them.
But you must. I mean, look. Andy Apiakubi at a point in time was the one fighting the Ken Masco. Eventually, after a meeting, you know what happened. You know what happened after that meeting with the party's, executive. So let's move on.
Sometimes you do that just to drive up the price. Is what you are saying. Okay. All right. Let's do the online review. It's brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest, Goyle Good Energy, Yenara India, and G&J Technical Services, celebrating 30 years of providing backup power in Ghana.
Now, Good Energy has hit the road with exciting choices to energize your vehicle. It is also giving you more options to take you further. Watch this space for your choice. Goyle Yenara India.
And let me just tell you about Zenith Bank, because look, this summer experience the perfect holiday getaway courtesy of our Zenith Visa card. Spend a minimum of 3,000 in at least 5 transactions with your Zenith Visa card and win an all-expense paid trip to the Olympic Games in Paris. Also up for grabs other consolation prizes. Don't be left out. Make it a memorable summer with your Zenith Visa card. For more information, visit zenithbank.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Okay, the Asantehene is asking a question on my Joy Online I want to know the answer to. He says, why is everyone scrambling to be an MP? I co-ask. Also on my Joy Online this morning, UGMC successfully performs 6 kidney transplants. This is the first time in Ghana, right, that we've done this, as far as we are aware. But we can find out more because Dr. Emmanuel Asante joins us on the phone. He's a urologist at the University of Ghana Medical Center. Dr. Asante, congratulations on 6 successful surgeries. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Good Jansen, and thank you.
So, set the record straight. Are these the very first 6 to be done in Ghana?
No. Prior to our doing transplants at UGMC, Kolebu Teaching Hospital has started doing transplants. And I also do know that the Bank Hospital has also done at least 2 transplants.
Okay.
So these are not the first transplants in Ghana.
So this means that now we have the capacity to do it. There's no need to fly people out of the country. Am I right?
Absolutely.
But does this make it cheaper or more expensive, Doc?
It definitely makes it much cheaper because if you have to travel to go and do transplants, you need your airfare, you need somebody to accompany you, you need hotel accommodation, you need to stay there for about a month. Doing it in Ghana means much, much, much cheaper.
Now, I know that usually after surgery like this, there is a certain period, a settling in period, during which, you have to see if the organ will take. How long is that period?
So the organ take can be, or the rejection of organs can take place within the very first days of the surgery or even up to years after the transplant has been done. So these patients after transplant have to be followed for the rest of their life.
Wow. How are these 6 doing so far?
They're doing very, very well.
So, tell us, how did we end up developing the capacity? Did we have to send people abroad? Did we have to bring in equipment? What was the journey that took us to the place where now at UGMC we can do kidney transplants?
So first, we had collaboration with our foreign partners. First, we started with some Indians, and later on with some surgeons from UK. And also, we built local capacity to be able to do the surgery.
Okay. So now, this is one of the potential long-term solutions to renal disease in Ghana.
Definitely.
Yeah, tell us, for those who are interested in pursuing this, what's the qualification criteria?
So each patient it's on each patient basis. We need to come to the hospital. We need to screen you to see whether you qualify for the transplant. And then you also need a donor. Currently in Ghana, we are doing live donor transplant. So you need to get a donor who is willing to donate his kidney to you. And once you come and we screen you, you qualify for the transplant, and you have a donor who's the ball rolling.
Right. So unlike other parts of the world, in Ghana, you can walk in with your donor and both get screened, and if you qualify, the surgery will be done.
So you walk into Ghana, you walk in with your donor, we screen you, we send you to an ethics committee who say that you qualify for the transplant together with your donor, and then we take the process on.
Okay. Give us an idea. How much does it cost typically?
So in Ghana now, it will cost between $21,000 to $25,000 to have a transplant done.
Whew. That's still a pretty penny, huh?
Yeah, it's not expensive. The drugs, the immunosuppressive drugs, to make sure that the kidney takes or it's not rejected, are expensive.
So, okay, so give us that figure again. 20.
It's between $21,000 and $25,000 depending on where you are doing it to Ghana.
Whoa. Okay. All right. Well, so once again, congratulations to you and your team on this achievement. And is there anything at all that is required in order for this to be sustained, or are you just good to go from now on?
So we need legislation to ensure that we don't get donors who are taking money from recipients before the school's on. So some legislation needs to be done. We also need the public support, and we need to make the transplant cheap for the average Ghanaian. So we need a lot of donor support, and possibly a fund that will support patients who have transplants.
Well, that's a lot to think about. $21,000 to $25,000 a pop. Dr. Emmanuel Asante, urologist at University of Ghana Medical Center, we thank you very much for educating us this morning.
Thank you.
Oh, there you have it. At least there is some sort of silver lining, right?
Yeah.
It can be done in Ghana. You don't have to spend a fortune on, flying out of the country to get it done. And it looks like the expertise is there. All we need is a bit of a framework to make it safe.
And also make it affordable to people, because it makes sense that if that's the last kind of care that we have to save your life with, it should be, the hindrance should not be that you cannot pay for it.
Indeed.
And so if we make it affordable, then we can actually enhance the options available to people, mindful of our current difficulties with sustaining a good plan when it comes to dialysis.
Yeah. There's a lot to think about there. Today on the documentary, you're going to hear about a young lady who is living with renal failure, chronic renal failure, and her story is just heartbreaking. It's one of the big, non-communicable diseases killing Ghanaians. You'll learn about it. This could be a solution. Right now, though, we're going to take some messages before the BBC News, brought to us by Fidelity Bank, believe with us, and Old Mutual. 10 years of greatness in Ghana, here for a lifetime.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Good energy hits the road with exciting choices to energize your ride, giving you more options to take you further. Watch this space for your choice.
Goil, yeah.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Then come cut up donut. Donut, donut. Malaria super donut. Everybody follow not sa malaria. A 3D till no not now. Won't to malaria chill. Won't popo. Won't win the day. I want the no donut. A dabako. Num donut. A damien no. Num donut. A damien sa. Num donut. Malaria super donut. No. Donut scatter malaria. Lonat, it is scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa wumojam ansana wanum lona. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo ho a ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Join us this summer for the prestigious International Conference on Property Investment and Profit Making, the ultimate guide to financial freedom. Delve into the theme, how to earn and maximize passive income through commercial property investment in the United States. Mark your calendar for 29th and 30th October 2024 at Trump Towers International Hotels, Chicago, USA. Register now to secure your spot. Early bird registration ends 15 July and standard registration closes on July 30th, 2024. Registration starts from $500 to $1,550, which allows you 2-night stay at Trump Towers Hotel, Chicago, lunch buffet, welcome cocktail, conference ticket, and many more. For those in need of visa support to attend, visit our conference website on conference.chicagowestluxuryhomes.com and register to get an invitation, or call us on 0536-502295 for further information.
Dear business owner, congrats on not giving up on your business. You deserve a medal, and your business deserves to be taken to the next level. In fact, it's about time you run a Zenith Bank SME account so you and your business can enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME business card. Oga and Oga Madam status.
The Zenith SME Business Card is a Visa debit card for making secure payments for goods and services. Enjoy great benefits such as free customized digital SME training, free marketing toolkits, access to Visa practical skills training, and more. Unlock the potential of your business today. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide and sign up for the Zenith SME Business Card, the ultimate payment solution for SMEs. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com.gh or call 0302 680-884 or 0307-086-370. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
Now get its economy back on track. Find out how some sections of society are thriving while others still need help to prosper.
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Coming up after the news from the BBC World Service, it's Hard Talk with me, Stephen Sacker. Some great writers thrive on distance from the people, place and culture into which they were born. Others stay rooted and observe from within. My guest today is an acclaimed novelist of the latter type. Anne Enright has lived in and around Dublin, part of a close-knit family, for almost all of her life. She is undoubtedly one of Ireland's greatest living writers. To what extent has her country shaped her fiction?
I like to write about people who leave and come back, but there is an aspect of return in a lot of the fiction. I live in Ireland, but for a long time I was quite averse to writing as an Irish writer. So I was kind of in contention with the tradition rather than writing from inside it.
That's Anne Enright on Hard Talk after the news.
Hello, I'm Neil Nunes with the BBC News. A week of campaigning and deal-making is beginning in France ahead of a second round of elections. It comes after the far-right National Rally Party emerged from Sunday's voting in a comfortable first place with just over 33% of the vote. President Macron is calling for centrist and left-wing parties to unite to prevent the far-right from winning control of Parliament. Hugh Schofield has more from Paris.
there's a second round, and in each constituency there's going to have to be a list drawn up of the candidates. Now mainly it'll be the first two from the first round, so that'll be mainly a National Rally candidate and someone from the left-wing alliance, but sometimes with somebody from the centre. But there are going to be a lot of constituencies where it's a three-way fight, where someone from all three blocks gets through, and that's where you're going to get this pressure applied to stand down on one of the leftists or the centrists to stand down in order to concentrate the vote against the National Rally candidate. And that's what's going to be happening today and tomorrow. Awful lot of pressure coming certainly from the left on the centrists to do that, because the left has said that they will stand down in those constituencies where the RN person is in the lead and the left candidate is in third place.
Caribbean nations are warning residents about a potentially deadly hurricane strengthening further. In Barbados, thousands have heeded advice to board up their homes and businesses. This report from Will Grant.
Meteorologists are warning the storm could bring extremely dangerous winds, expected to reach speeds of 130 miles an hour. The director of the U.S. National Hurricane Center in Miami, Michael Brennan, said that Hurricane Beryl could be potentially catastrophic, especially as the eye of the storm passes over the Windward Islands, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Hurricane Beryl is the second named storm of the hurricane season, which experts are predicting is likely to be particularly busy and intense this year. Beryl is believed to be the earliest named Category 4 storm on record, as the hurricane season has started uncommonly early.
The U.S. Department of Justice is to offer Boeing a plea deal to prevent its prosecution following two deadly crashes, but lawyers for victims' families are furious. Our business reporter Nick Marsh spoke to one of them.
Paul Cassell basically says that Boeing has come to an arrangement with the DOJ which would stop it going to a criminal trial in relation to those 346 deaths in 2018 and 2019. So in 2021, Boeing promised that it would improve its safety culture, its ethics, and in return it would avoid criminal charges. As we know, there have been many safety incidents since then.
Our business reporter Nick Marsh. This is the latest world news from the BBC. Israel says it's come under the largest rocket attack by Gaza militants in months. The Israeli military said about 20 projectiles had been fired. There are no reports so far of casualties or damage. Sirens have been sounding in southern Israeli towns. Russia says its air defense systems have brought down a wave of Ukrainian drones launched against 3 border regions in the early hours. It said 18 drones were destroyed over the Bryansk region, 9 over Kursk, and 9 more in Belgorod further south. There were no reports of casualties or damage. It's the second day in succession of Ukrainian cross-border drone attacks. One of Sri Lanka's most prominent politicians and a veteran campaigner for the Tamil minority has died. Rajavaraldhian Sampanthan, who was 91, led a diverse coalition called the Tamil National Alliance for the past 23 years. Charles Haviland reports.
R. Sampanthan was an old-school Sri Lankan politician, first elected as an MP in the 1970s. Once the island plunged into ethnic civil war in 1983, he boycotted Parliament under pressure from Tamil Tiger militants who wanted Tamil MPs to quit the legislature, but he would later return and become official opposition leader. After the final defeat of the Tigers in 2009, Mr. Sampanthan continued to demand equal ethnic rights. 2 years ago, he wrote to the UN Human Rights Council, alleging these rights were still being widely violated. For instance, through the bringing of Sinhalese settlers into traditionally Tamil areas of the former war zone.
The Scottish summer holiday retreat of the British royal family, Balmoral Castle in Aberdeenshire, has opened to the public for the first time. Guided tours running until early August will take visitors through several key rooms, including the drawing room where the last picture of Queen Elizabeth was taken shortly before she died. BBC News.
Welcome.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh you a work, but you know it's out there your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out there your side. When you dream, no say I dey for you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I dey for you. Many want. If I believe I dey your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I dey your side, fidelity.
After tasting 10 CDs worth of Abochi's kebab, you finally decide to buy some. He wraps it up and you take it home. Just when you're about to dig in, you see your name in bold Times New Roman font size 14 on the paper. And that's when you realize it's the CV you submitted for a job last week. The job market is changing rapidly. AI, clouds, holograms. Who knows what's next? Over 34 million Ghanaians. What makes you stand out? Get the X Factor to get ahead with tech courses from ALX. Choose AWS Cloud Computing, Salesforce Administration, Data Analytics, Data Science, Front-End Web Development, Back-End Web Development, or AI Career Essentials. Search ALX Ghana online to apply now. ALX. Do hard things.
Hello, Auntie Araba. Hey, Bugger, how are you doing today? I want to buy Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, but I don't have enough money. So what are you going to do? Can you give me the big size? You know, as for me, I'll pay the balance later.
Today, no credit. I haven't sold much this morning. If you don't have enough money for the big size, why don't you try the 120-gram pack?
There's a 120-gram pack? Introducing the new Pepsodent Cavity Fighter in 120-gram pack size. More affordable and convenient. Get yours today from any supermarket near you. Every smile matters. This advert is FDA approved.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
and making a significant impact in their communities. The inaugural JoyNews Impact Makers Awards highlighted the incredible work of 10 selfless individuals dedicated to improving the lives of others. We at Joy are delighted to continue shining a light on more Ghanaians who are making marvelous contributions to their community.
I want to challenge each and every one of you to reflect on the impact you can make, from primary school to leading the team as McDan Group grows. I have learned that true change doesn't always come from grand gestures or public accolades. Often it is quiet, consistent effort to make in our everyday lives that creates the most profound transformation.
The moment of truth is finally here.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, the woman of the moment, Miss Eunice Asiedu Ejapon.
I thank JoyNews for this prestigious awards. I thank them so much for recognizing individuals who are making positive impacts in the lives of individuals in their various communities. And I hope this award and everything in it will go a long way to help the people in local community. I intend to help the kids impact more, not only the community I am being posted to, but extend it to other communities who need help in their various.
Next year, we are going to do it bigger, and it's going to be branded JoyNews Magdan Impact Maker.
Yeah, so that's how it all unfolded over the weekend at the second ever Impact Makers Awards. And Eunice, very well deserving winner for 2024, isn't she? I mean, you could almost have predicted it, couldn't you? I mean, everybody was amazing. Everybody had done amazing things to make an impact in their communities. But this girl's story just has a certain romance and sacrifice to it that just put her head and shoulders above everyone else. I mean, it's not like she came with some resources. It's not like she came with a position of power to make a difference. She saw nothing, but she made something out of nothing in a community with no school. She was able to set up a school which now serves from nursery all the way up to primary six, I believe. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And she's certainly a well-deserving winner, isn't she?
Is the part where you meet adversity. Then, I mean, I know somebody who actually arranged to buy computers for a school that there was none in a rural area, but there were difficulties with power and everything. But meeting adversity of this kind, the school does not exist. Some people would have taken to social media to announce their misfortune and turning it into memes and move on to now say that they should be reposted.
Oh yes, they might quietly seek reassignment.
Yes, but she didn't think that way. She thought about the people she's not related to. She thought about people she has no business thinking about on the daily or when she had her own problems. Let's not get it wrong. She was doing national service. Yeah.
National service.
Yeah. That's perhaps the poorest of the payments you can get in the Republic of Ghana. And yet she was extremely dedicated to making sure that her compatriots in other parts of the country get education. And that there is no stumbling block in getting that. To me, is one of the greatest service you can give to your country. She is a true hero by all standards and qualifications. Somebody whose works are worthy of emulation by all of us, in whichever way or office or direction, or especially the politicians. If they all lent 2% of what this woman did in her life, this country would have progressed massively. We would have headed the right direction. Everybody would have given their all, converted a small space into adversity, into life-changing events that everybody will believe in. I am so impressed with her. Yes.
No member of parliament.
This one should qualify her to go to heaven straight. No other qualification.
No member of parliament has impressed me like this.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, I don't like to.
I mean, they are spending their money at people's funerals. It's vote buying. I keep saying, I told you every day I'll give you an example of vote buying on this show.
Every day.
There you go. So listen, congratulations to you, Eunice. And of course, I hope this inspires others. I hope that next year we'll be here telling yet another batch of amazing stories of impact makers here in Ghana. This is indeed the most important awards system available to us in this country. No doubt about it. Now, also today on the Super Morning Show.
As a clinician, one condition I fear most, in fact, I fear diabetes even more than cancer. Because once your sugar is so high, it affects virtually all tissues, all organ systems in the body.
About 612,000 new cases of hypertension alone are diagnosed every year. That is quite consequential.
It's like a ticking time bomb, and if we don't address it, it's going to be catastrophic.
Guys, today's show is personal. I mean, this is my life that we're talking about. it's not just the diabetes, which I've had since 2009, but it's also the hypertension, which I developed 2 years ago. It's also the renal failure, which I suffered at the beginning of my diabetes diagnosis in 2009. I had acute renal failure. I was in hospital for about a quarter of a year, just recovering from that. I was on dialysis every 2 days until I left. So I know these conditions. I know what they do to the body. I know how it feels from the inside when you have absolutely no control over whether you are going to live another day or not, and when it costs money to stay alive.
And when you have a health system that cannot support that system, it becomes completely problematic.
I don't know if I've told
another level.
I don't know if I've told you before, but I was supposed to return to Ghana long before 2014. Well, I wanted to. My biggest fear, the thing that kept me away for perhaps an extra 5 years after I was diagnosed in 2009, was the fear that if I came to Ghana, I would die.
Oh, yeah.
I still have that fear, by the way.
Yeah, well, because when push comes to shove, you cannot really just be taken to a hospital with no demands on what insurance are you on, how much are you paying. Does it even have a card here? Even if it's an emergency, that you get the very best of services without all these questions, and later we'll get up and walk home. That is at the core problematic.
You know, I asked Samuel, I sent Samuel, I asked him a question some time ago. I asked him, in an emergency where you cannot talk or do anything, will our health system be there for you? And I asked that because in many of the instances those of us who work within this space, you can actually pick a phone and make a call and say, oh, I am so and so. Then you would help somebody. But where you are the one involved, you cannot say anything. Will the health system be there for you? And the answer is no. And, so for many of us who have these non-communicable diseases, we know, for instance, that you have to be of the best life. Because on the day that you are faced with an emergency, you're finished. And so for those who can prevent it, Charlie, you have to. And for many people who stay away from even taking their medications, and I've had issues of all manner of reasons why people will not particularly take their hypertension, drugs.
Yeah.
Please and please. Because when you suffer in times of emergency, I'm sorry, 70% you're gone.
I wish.
Securing an ambulance in the Republic of Ghana, in a country where ambulance comes and says, oh, make part payment of fuel, or we cannot move. At the core, it is the riskiest thing that can happen to anybody.
You are even talking about the thing that you need to save your life in that split second, right? But Winston makes me think about the continuous preservation of your life when you have one of these non-communicable diseases, when you have what people cutely describe as a lifestyle disease, right? When I think of what it takes to just keep yourself alive, in the documentary, they make some very conservative calculations. They say that to keep a diabetic alive for a year, it costs how much?
$543.
Okay. What would that be in cedis?
About between 7,500 to 8,000 Ghana cedis.
A year.
A year.
Let me tell you, that is such a conservative estimate. I'll use my mother as an example. Okay, so she has type 2 diabetes. Her medication in a month costs about 1,400 cedis. What's that for the year?
1,400 cedis?
Yes.
So you're looking at 16,800.
16,800. What's that in dollars?
That's more than $1,000.
Indeed. Okay, and I'm only talking about her medication. I haven't talked about what else it costs to keep a diabetic alive. The strips that you need in order to check your blood sugar every day, and you use a new one every day. You have to buy new ones. When your machine, runs out, you have to, or your battery dies, you have to buy a new one. You can't just go and buy a battery and put it in. Most of the time, you have to go and buy a new machine. These are just basic things you need to do to stay alive. Just to stay alive. That's my mom. My condition is even worse because I am dependent on insulin. I have to buy 2 different injections of insulin. The first one lasts a week. The second one lasts 2 weeks. Each of them cost over 550 cedis at the cheapest place I can get it today. Each one. So the one that I take one every week, that's what? 2,200 cedis a month. Then the other one, which I take one every 2 weeks, that's 1,100 cedis a month. 3,300 cedis just on my insulin. I haven't come to my tablets. I haven't come to my strips.
That's almost 40,000.
My brother. Just to stay alive.
And that's part of the expenditure.
So would it not be better as a nation for us to be thinking of how to prevent these conditions?
Yes.
So that we never have to foot this bill? Because, I mean, look at me. I mean, who am I? I have to basically work miracles just to get enough money to stay alive. What about others who don't even have half of the opportunities that I have?
Or not in any proper paying job. Not even working anyway.
Oh, my God. So as a nation, why are we not, as a matter of life and death, looking for a solution to this, to prevent it from happening? Other countries are doing it. They set up policies to ensure that they will never even have such numbers as we do. 34% of all deaths caused by non-communicable diseases.
Wake up to joy, joy, joy. Sunshine and joy in the morning time. Yeah. Wake up to the super morning show. Yeah. Wake up to joy.
All right, now every time we eat, food and sugars get trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. Now, brushing your teeth every morning and night with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter gives your teeth the protection they need, leaving you with 10 times stronger teeth. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter is fortified with profluoride and microcalcium ingredients, sealing those tiny and invisible holes in your teeth. These prevent cavities, keep your teeth strong, and your mouth healthy. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter has maximum cavity protection. It's 10 times stronger teeth for you. After 25 years of educating people to brush day and night, Pepsodent is now recommended by the Ghana Dental Association, and you can get it at any shop and when you call the customer care center on 0800 2030. That's a toll-free number. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night. Pepsodent. Every smile matters.
And join Chicago West Luxury Homes this summer for the prestigious International Conference on Property Investment and Profit Making, the ultimate guide to financial freedom. Delve into the theme, how to earn and maximize passive income through commercial property investment in the United States. It's on the 29th and the 30th of October 2024 at Trump Towers International Hotel, Chicago, USA. Register now to secure your spot. Early bird registration ends on the 15th of July and standard registration closes on July 30th, 2024. Registration starts from $155 to $1,550, which allows you 2 nights stay at Trump Towers Hotel, lunch buffet, welcome cocktail, conference tickets, and many more. Speakers: Roman Bassi, Bob Marsh, Jai James, and many more. For visa support and further information, please visit our conference website on conference.chicagowestluxuryhomes.com and register to get the invitation, or call us on 0536 502 295 for more information.
Now, do you have a game-changing, innovative business idea or project that can impact society? This is your moment. Total Energies presents the 4th edition of the Startup Power of the Year Challenge. This year, we are looking at for 3 winners, right? Now, the best entrepreneur, which is it's also known as the InnovApp winner. The second one is the best project or innovative business idea, exemplifying recycling and minimizing waste. That's the Cycle Up winner. And the last one, last but not the least, the best project promoting or relating to sustainable and affordable energies. That's the Power Up winner. And that's not all. 4 additional projects in the Power Up category will be selected by an international jury. Don't wait any longer. Apply now at startup.totalenergies.com for your chance to win financial support, professional mentorship, and a spotlight for your project. Terms and conditions apply. Total Energies at #Total Startup Challenge.
All right. Now, KingdomStoreOnline.com is where you need to go for the best quality stationery, office essentials, equipment, and furniture from Kingdom Books. You can pay via Momo across all networks, and delivery is free when you're in Accra or Tema. You can pay via Momo, like I said. Terms and conditions do apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
And Access Bank has brought banking closer to you with our agency banking service called Access Closer. Yes, we've brought banking right to your neighborhood. Look out for an Access Closer agent in that neighborhood store, mobile money outlet, supermarket, barbering shop, or pharmacy near you. So go on and deposit or withdraw cash, pay bills, buy insurance, transfer cash to other banks, link account to mobile money wallet, and much more with Access Closer right in your neighborhood. That's not all. You can also be the bank in your neighborhood, become an Access Closer agent, and earn over 10,000 Ghana cedis monthly. So what are you waiting for? Call us now on 0302-742-696 to register as an agent today. You can also visit our website, ghana.accessbankplc.com, or social media for more details. We're closer than you think. Access Bank, more than banking.
Sports and birthdays coming up. Stay tuned. It's the Super Morning Show.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Imagine a world where your home or business is powered by the sun's boundless energy. Picture your rooftop transformed into a solar sanctuary, radiating with eco-friendly vibes and city-saving brilliance. Well, dream no more. With Standard Chartered's renewable energy loans, you can turn this dream into a dazzling reality. And guess what? Our renewable energy loans come at very low rates. That's right, we are not just offering loans, we are offering the keys to your solar-powered kingdom. Say goodbye to high electricity bills and step into a new world where every watt generated is a step towards a brighter, more sustainable future. So if you're ready to take control of your energy destiny and switch to solar today, give us a shout on any of the following phone lines: 050-153-5789, 050-153-5790, 0244-674154. Let's chart a course for a brighter tomorrow and make your solar dreams shine brighter than ever before. Standard Chartered, here for good.
What is football? I elevated Inter to the pinnacle of European football by winning the treble. I beat the unbeatable Barcelona with Real Madrid, breaking all records on the way. I feel the hearts of the Romanists with joy after winning their first European title. I am relentless. I am ambition. I am a winner. I am José Mourinho. I am football.com.
Place your bets now.
And where do you think you're going?
To train in the garden.
With my broom?
Mom, it's a javelin.
Oh, really? And that plate?
That's not a plate, it's a discus, Mom. We are training to become winners.
Well, you know you need lots of energy to become winners. So you both better start your day with Twisco before you go anywhere. Besides its great chocolatey taste, Twisco is enriched with Enerfort, a blend of energy-boosting vitamins and minerals for little winners.
Thanks, Mom.
Got to keep my little winners in shape. Twisco, power your dreams.
This advert is FDA approved.
All right, birthday messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by
MTN.
Everywhere you go. And Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. All right, have we got a few today?
Yes. Let me see. I think I've got one. Okay. So this one says, happy birthday to Mrs. Amprofiteria, who is Superintendent of Assemblies of God Children's Service Department, Community 4, Tema. It's from your husband, Amprofiteria.
All right. Now, today happens to be the birthday of Jojo Inti, our very own Jojicals.
Oh.
Jojicals
Tacos.
of the backroom boys of the Super Morning Show.
Has it been verified now?
I think it has been confirmed that it's Jojicals' birthday. Yes. And this is what he tells the girls to call him.
What?
Jojicals.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Of all the...
whenever he's introduced to anyone, my name is Jojo. Call me Jojicals.
Oh, today we should buy him tacos.
We should try and buy him some tacos.
Yes. Something he has refused
Taco
to do
hene.
for God knows how long.
Taco hene bakope. Yes, we'll see about that. Happy birthday to you, Jojo. Such an important part of our show. All right.
He's holding his Ghana card to show me that today is indeed his birthday.
It is confirmed. It's confirmed. We accept. Oh, goodness. All right. Any others before we move on?
No. I think we're done. But hold on a minute. I think, okay. So this one says, happy birthday to Lawrence Amev of Absa Bank High Street Branch. You're with the Finance Department from Team Finlex. Wish you a blessed year. And belated happy birthday to Genevieve Bosum Trisam of Absa Bank High Street Branch. And also happy birthday to Amma Abuajiwa. You know, I adore you and love you. God bless your new age from your baby sis, Davi Ekia. Let's get into the Sports Center.
Yeah, before that, this one says, belated happy birthday to my niece, Mami Eku Sika Banda. May the Lord bless you with good health. It's from Nana Harding. Okay, then, we're moving.
Yes.
The Joy Sports Center is brought to you by
MTN.
Everywhere you go, Standard Chartered Bank,
here for good.
DSTV,
it's your movement.
And Twisco Food Drink. Twisco, power your dream.
And hello, Ghana. There's an exciting new chocolate beverage out there on the market from the producers of Cowbell. Permit me to introduce you to Twisco, a chocolate food drink with a blend of premium cocoa powder enriched with Enerfort, a combination of energy-boosting minerals and vitamins including B, C, D, iron, and many more. Twisco is available in 20 gram and can be found at your nearest neighborhood store in a delightful red sachet for only 1 CD 80 pesos. To enjoy all the goodness packed in a sachet, empty contents into a mag mixed with 180 ml of previously boiled water, milk, and stir. Start your day with a cup of the great tasting Twisco and power your dream. This is FDA approved.
So, folks, imagine a world where your home or business is powered by the sun's boundless energy. I mean, picture your rooftop transformed into a solar sanctuary, radiating with eco-friendly vibes and city-saving brilliance. Well, dream no more. With Standard Chartered's renewable energy loans, you can turn this dream into a dazzling reality. And guess what? Our renewable energy loans come at very, very low rates. That's right. We're not just offering you loans. We are offering the keys to your solar-powered kingdom. Say goodbye to high electricity bills and step into a new world where every watt generated is a step towards a brighter, more sustainable future. So if you are ready to take control of your energy destiny and switch to solar today, give us a shout on any of these numbers: 050-153-5789 or 0244-674-154. Let's chart a course for a brighter tomorrow and make your solar dreams shine brighter than ever before. Standard Chartered, here for good.
Now, accessing super reliable healthcare should be the topmost priority for you and your family, and that is why Muti Plus, powered by MTN, is giving you just that today. For a subscription fee of just 25 cedis a month paid on Momo, you can sign on to a health subscription plan that gets you access to ultimate in-store consultations with qualified healthcare professionals and over 160 covered medications and tests at participating pharmacies in the Ablekuma, Sakaman, Dansuman, Mamprobi, and Kaswa townships. Now, the best part is that there's a dedicated nurse at the Muti pharmacy who can teleconference a doctor when you need it so that you can access the best consultation services. And to get this great product, all you have to do is download the Ayoba app and sign up today with your Momo account. Okay, so you sign up to the Momo with your Momo account on the Ayoba app. Okay, take charge of your health conveniently and affordably. Sign up for Muti Plus, powered by MTN today. Fan Twizzles.
Good morning, Coach Joe.
Good morning to you,
I have
sir.
missed you.
Oh, I've missed you too. It was not great being away. It's good to be back.
Yes, it's good to have you back. Good morning to you and good morning to all of you. Welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Centre with me, Fentuo Tahiru Fentuo. Coming up.
Cole Palmer to take this one. Met by Dubravka, sent goalwards again, headed across. Kane's there, 2-1 England! Oh, what a turnaround here in Gelsenkirchen. 2 quick goals, minute from the end of the regulation, a minute into extra time.
That's right, England, they have booked Euro 2024 quarter-final spot after late dramatic comeback win over Slovakia. Spain also dismantled Georgia to set up the last 8 clash against host Germany, and Switzerland have knocked out the defending champions Italy. All of that coming up, but also in this bulletin.
It's a world record in the last event of the trials. Sydney's done it again.
Yeah, Sydney McLaughlin takes down another world record en route to her 3rd Olympic Games. We'll have all of that in the next 10 minutes. First, though.
And the winner is Mohamed Kudus.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Mohamed Kudus, 2024 Footballer of the Year, the Ghana Football Award.
That's right, Black Stars midfielder Mohamed Kudus. He's been crowned Football of the Year at the 6th edition of the Ghana Football Awards. The colourful event took place at the Dome of the Accra International Conference Centre on Saturday with electrifying performances from Samini and Tiny. Adamu Bening Abdul Karim has more on the award winners in this report.
Mohamed Kudus became the 2nd player to win the Player of the Year award back-to-back for his impressive first season with West Ham. He saw off competition from Iñaki Williams, Osman Bukari and Fatau Isaac. Speaking after receiving the award, Kudus called Isaac to the stage and said he aims to unite the new generation of young players.
As part of the new generation, one of my aims is to increase the unity and the love between us. And this season, in as much as we are competing for the award, it's a very healthy competition, and then he has pushed me a lot this season and I've pushed him a lot too. I've told him this already, but in front of everyone I want to use this opportunity to tell him how proud I am of his journey and how far he has come and what he has done this season at Leicester. And this is a source of motivation for me and him and all the upcoming players coming up.
Kudus also picked the Goal of the Year award for his wonder solo strike against Freiburg in the Europa League. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Keyeke of Samatex was named Home Base Player of the Year. It was the first of 4 awards for newly crowned Ghana Premier League champions. Samatex also picked up the Team of the Year award. Their CEO, Richard Nsenchiri, took home the Best Club CEO award, and their coach, Nuruddin Ahmad, was awarded Best Coach of the Year. Dreams FC's Aziz Issa was named the Odate Lamte Rising Future Star. In the women's category, Jennifer Kankam of ZFC won the Female Footballer of the Year award. Hazakes Ladies Abdullahi Mokarama took home the Home Base Footballer of the Year for her impressive comeback story after 2 years out with injury. Her club, Hazakes Ladies, was named Female Team of the Year, while their head coach, Yusuf Basigi, picked the Female Coach of the Year award.
Adamu Bening Abdul Karim's report. You can find more of the award winners on our website, myshowonline.com/sports. Now, the Black Queens head coach, Nora Haptel, she's invited 33 players to camp in Accra in readiness for this month's friendly against Japan. Bay FC's Princess Marfo, Luton FC defender Bridget Edu, and Hazakis ladies forward Mukarama Abdullahi are among the new names in the squad. The Black Queens will use the game to prepare for the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations competition, rescheduled to Morocco next year. This friendly is scheduled for the Kari Stadium in Tokyo on Saturday, July 13, 2024. Meanwhile, Ghana's under-20 male national team, the Black Satellites, they've arrived in France for a 3-week tour of Europe in preparation for the 2024 WAFU B Under-20 Championships. The Black Satellites will play a series of friendly matches in France and in Belgium. The team will take on Belgian outfit KV Michelin tomorrow before facing Royal Antwerp's under-23 team on Sunday, July 19. Now let's come back home. Speaker of Parliament Aban Bagman is rallying support for the first edition of the Democracy Cup. House of Folk will face Kotoko on Friday at the Accra International Sports Stadium in a game aimed at celebrating 30 years of the Fourth Republic.
I want all of you to come around, not just to support, but to cheer up the two teams, Accra House of Folk and Ashanti Kotoko. We follow them throughout.
That game is at 6 p.m. On Friday night under the lights at the Accra Sports Stadium. Now, let's head to Germany. That's where Jude Bellingham produced a moment of genius to keep England in Euro 2024 as they survived another huge scare to beat Slovakia 2-1 in extra time to reach the last 8. The Three Lions were seconds away from an embarrassing exit when Jude Bellingham scored a stunning overhead kick in the 3rd minute of added time to send the game to extra time, where Harry Kane scored the winner. Here's the man of the match, Bellingham.
In international football, in knockout football, it is even a worse feeling because, you know, you're 30 seconds from going home, having to listen to all the rubbish, feeling like you've let a nation of people down, and in 30 seconds or one kick of the ball, everything can change, and it's a feeling that I don't like to be in, but when it's done, it feels great. So, it's a habit that I've picked up from Madrid. Really grateful I could bring it to this game.
Jude Bellingham. Now, England will now face Switzerland in the quarterfinals. Switzerland themselves, they knocked out the defending champions Italy, beating them 2-0 in that last 16 clash on Saturday. Italy, on the other hand, have become the 3rd straight Euro holders to be eliminated at the round of 16 stage. Elsewhere at the Euros, Spain gave Georgia a reality check with a demolition 4-1 win in Cologne. But not until Georgia took a surprise lead through Robin Le Mans' own goal. Man of the match, Rodri, says Georgia's deep defending was expected.
Yeah, it's an action. We knew that the way they would defend, they defend so narrow in the area. The two strikers, they don't come back to defend. They kind of stay in for the counterattack. So the frontal area, we knew before the game that it was going to be an empty space for the midfielders, specifically on me. And fortunately the goal get in, and it was a good moment for the team. Yeah.
That's Rodri there. Spain now will take on Germany in a quarterfinal on Friday. It's a massive game. The hosts, they beat Denmark 2-0 in Dortmund on Saturday. Gets goals from Kai Havertz and Jamal Musiala, who is now the tournament's joint top scorer with 3 goals. Later today at 4 p.m., France take on Belgium in the last 16 at Dusseldorf. And that game is live on 99.7 Joy FM. The France captain, Kylian Mbappe, has admitted his performance so far at the Euros is below his own expectations.
I'm really happy to give everything for the national team. I'm in a good spirit. I'm in a good mood now. Physically, of course, I had what I had on the nose, so it was special. My Euro didn't start like I wanted, but I'm here. I'm here to help the team. I'm here. I want to really have success with this team. Like I said before, and the Euro is the only thing that I miss with the national team, so I really want to win it.
Away from the Euros, Ecuador will face Copa America holders Argentina in the quarterfinal after drawing goalless with Mexico, with both teams on 4 points in Group B. But Ecuador secured a place in the knockout stages thanks to their superior goal difference. Venezuela advanced as group winners, while Mexico and Jamaica were eliminated. Venezuela will face Canada on Saturday. Now, here's our last story. For the 5th time in her career, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone broke the women's 400-meter hurdles world record, lowering her previous to 50.65 seconds to win the U.S. trials. The 24-year-old Olympic champion from Tokyo is heading to her 3rd Olympic Games, having debuted at the Games as a 16-year-old in 2016. She says her next target is to dip under 50 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles.
I mean, I would love to dip under 50 at some point. I don't know if that's this year, I don't know if that's next year or whatever. But just always chipping away, seeing what's possible and continuing to just improve the race. There's so many different ways to run it, and I feel like every time I'm on the track, I'm figuring out, okay, what's the best way. So
That's Signet McLaughlin. Elsewhere in the U.S. trials, Noah Lyles broke a 28-year-old meeting record to win the men's 200 meters in 19.52 seconds and will now be aiming for a sprint double title in the 100 meters and 200 meters in Paris. And for the first time in the history of the Olympic Games, the defending champions in the women's 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, and 800 meters will all not be defending their titles after either failing to qualify or pulling out due to injury. So it's a bad time for them. Elaine Thompson, Shone Miller-Wibo of the Bahamas, and the USA's Ethimu all will not be defending their titles in Paris. That's all the latest in sports this morning on the Joy Sports Center. My name is Fentu, Tahiru Fentu. Back to you, Winston.
Thank you very much, Fentu, Tahiru Fentu, for joining us with the latest in the world of sports. But let's get interactive this morning here on the Super Morning Show. Social media messages brought to us by Rapinol. When the pain is too much to bear, grab Rapinol from Danex Itin Starwin PLC. Rapinol, the rapid pain reliever. And EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa, as well as Mala2 from Ernest Chemist. Mala2, power over malaria. So you know what? This is the year to stop singing and talking about shopping and enjoying life and just do it. Because EcoBank has over 1 million Ghana cedis worth of cash and prizes in the EcoBank Million Gang promo for you and over 7,000 others across Ghana. Winners will be rewarded bi-weekly and you can be one of them, winning up to 10,000 Ghana cedis. There will also be 3 monthly draws and all you have to do is deposit cash in multiples of 500 Ghana cedis into your EcoBank account at your nearest branch, EcoBank Express Point or via EcoBank Mobile to stand a chance of winning. Other prizes include fuel vouchers, shopping vouchers, airtime, and many more. Promo runs from now to the 31st of July 2024. It's your time to chop life. Remember, every 500 Ghana cedis deposit earns you an entry into the EcoBank Million Gang draw. A better way to enjoy life, a better way, a better Africa. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Stay with us. We'll return with Food for Thought, brought to us by Roverman Productions. We'll be right back.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. We not say problem day, but you for chop life. Simply deposit cash in multiples of 500 Ghana cedis into your EcoBank account at your nearest branch, Express Point, or through EcoBank Mobile to win your share of over 1 million cedis in prizes in the EcoBank Million Gang promo, EMG. Be one of over 7,000 people to be rewarded. Hey, my God. Yes, so over 7,000 people go chop soft life from May to July 31, 2024. Be an EcoBank customer or be square. Remember, every 500 Ghana cedi deposit earns you a point for the EcoBank Million Gang today, EMG. Deposit today and win your share of 1.2 million in cash and prizes. A better way to enjoy life. A better way. A better Africa. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
It's time to shop, smile, and repeat. Yes, shop, smile, and repeat. Get value for your money with extra when you shop from Compu Ghana Prime Week promo. Get prices on premium brands like Samsung, LG, Sigma, TCL, Sony, Lenovo, Tecno, and many more. Don't miss out on the biggest sale of the month. Visit your nearest Compu Ghana showroom this week and buy all your laptops, printers, TVs, home theaters, and more. You can also shop online at www.compugana or call 0302-752-020. Compu Ghana Prime Week. Shop, smile, and repeat.
Right, so welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show. Now time for Food for Thought, brought to us by Roverman Productions. Be the difference. Uncle, good morning.
Hi, how about you, sir? My favorite, how about you, sir? How are you doing?
Oh, Uncle, I'm doing very well. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
We
and I'll tell you why I'm doing great.
Please tell me.
In my presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. But before my presentation, let me take a moment to say a belated happy birthday to a wonderful, wonderful lady, Wendy Amanda Abena Nunu. Wendy, you celebrated your birthday last week. Winston, this is a lady working on a fantastic book. And Winston, when the book comes out, I'll make sure you get a copy. You will enjoy it.
Sure, Uncle.
And then one of my daughters, Rosemary, Ahin celebrated her birthday over the weekend, and so did Ken Nisaki, whose birthday was yesterday. Nisaki, yeah.
Oh, okay. Lawyer.
Yesterday was his birthday.
He was the one who did Dubai or No Sex.
That's right, yes. And he's inside this play too.
Oh, really? Takeover?
Yes. Inside Takeover. So you enjoy him in this one even more than you did previously.
Oh, nice.
Listen, today is 1st of July, and I am filled with gratitude today. Don't get me wrong. I am always grateful for life and for God's mercy, grace, and favor. But this morning, I have even more reason to be grateful. I'm filled with gratitude today because July is my birth month. And this month, I turned 70 come 20th of July.
Wow.
There's so much to be grateful for.
That's a Saturday.
Much. It is a Saturday, yeah.
Yes.
It is a Saturday. And you have no idea the schemes people are planning for me on the day. I am grateful not just for being alive, but for being active. I'm grateful for my hopes and aspirations, and grateful that at 70, I still have great hopes and plans, and I have interesting things I'm working on. I'm grateful that I am still excited about life. I'm grateful for my family, for Florence, and for every member of my household. I have a very interesting household, and someday I'll tell you about every member of my household. I'm grateful for my staff. I keep my staff numbers low. I have about 10 people on staff, but the theater group has almost 200 members. The members of the theater group have their own lives, their own professions and careers, but make themselves available to pursue their passion for creative expression on a quarterly basis. The staff, on the other hand, have made Roverman Productions their career and their life. Working at Roverman Productions means cutting yourself off a lot of social interactions. For instance, yesterday was Ken Nisaki's birthday, but he was not available for any celebrations planned for him because he was at rehearsals all day. People do not appreciate what it takes for us to produce the kind of shows we put on every quarter. For instance, yesterday, we started rehearsals at 11 a.m. and went on till 9 p.m. That is what it takes to produce excellence. And the staff of the production department have to be on hand to serve the cast and crew throughout. I'm grateful. I appreciate my staff because they believe in the vision of Roverman Productions, which is a very unusual company in Ghana. We are the pioneers in the kind of theater we are producing in Ghana, but I know that in a few years, there will be many more companies like us, and that will be a very good thing for Ghana and for Africa. And so I'm grateful that I could be a trailblazer in that respect. I'm not the first to write, direct, and produce plays in Ghana. In fact, I owe a huge debt of gratitude to those who were before me. Names like Kobina Sechi, Efwa Sunderland, Joe de Graft, Amate Du, Professor Mohammed Abdallah, Professor Owusu, Professor Asiedu Renchi, Efo Kojo Maugbe, and others have inspired me. And I am only building on the tradition they left us. And that is not to mention the giants of concert party, whom I also regard as great dramatists and storytellers in their own right. People like Kakeku have left an indelible mark on me. And then there is KSM, with his incredible stand-up comedies, from whom I take a lot of inspiration. And so on Roverman Productions, I'm grateful to and for my patrons. Their eagerness to see what next I have to offer humbles and motivates me. They own my productions, and they make it possible for my team and I to keep going. I'm grateful for Mr. Kwesi Chum and for his faith, vision, and courage in giving birth to the multimedia group. After the shutdown of Reku Brobe's Radio I, not many people believed that there could be private electronic media in Ghana, but Mr. Chum saw a future that did not make sense to many. Today, with so many private radio and television stations, it is difficult to appreciate the faith and courage it took to dare to step into the space of private media in Ghana. Ghana owes a lot to the courage and vision of that humble man. I'm grateful to every general manager of Joy FM and particularly to Mr. Ken Ansa, the Chief Operating Officer of the Multimedia Group, for his leadership, friendship, and support. I'm grateful for every host of the Super Morning Show team, right from Tommy Ananforson and the late Dusty Wayne, right down to the current team of Kojo, Abojuse Winston, Mamavi, and Raymond, with Samuel Dami directing affairs in his Batakari from the background.
He's in one today, actually.
Well, it has become his trademark.
Yes, sir.
I'm grateful for every boss I have worked with since 1974 when I entered the job market. I've learned a lot from each of them, in particular from Mr. K.T. Dazi and his wife, Gifty, and Mr. Kofi Siapoku and his wife, Florence. Of course, my first boss after university, the late Reverend Peter Baker, will always have a special place of honor in my heart for mentoring me well. And talking of mentors, I'm grateful for the many mentors Scripture Union and Youth for Christ gave me. In the case of Youth for Christ, I am also grateful to that ministry that it gave me room to learn, grow, and serve. Listen, I am not a self-made man. I'm the product of so many generous and good people. And this morning, I'm grateful to all of them and for all of them. You know, I've learned that in Ghana, if you are not intentional about being grateful, you will lose your mind. But the truth is, you have a choice. You can choose to see the glass as half full or almost empty. You can choose to see the beautiful flower of rose, or you can choose to see only the thorns on that flower. You can choose to be ruled by gratitude, or you can choose to be consumed by complaints. Today is 1st July, and I have chosen to allow gratitude to swell in my heart. What about you? What fills your heart this morning? What are you grateful for? And I would just say that is my presentation for this morning.
Thank you very, very, very much, Uncle White. And we all look forward to Saturday, the 20th of July, 2024, the Big 70.
The Big 70, yes. My family and my staff will love you for that because they want it to be a big 70 and I want it to be a quiet 70.
Oh, it has to be a big one. It has to be a big one.
And then we're also looking forward to this weekend. You know, Takeover starts running this Friday.
Sure.
This Friday. And we are looking forward to it. It's a great show, so be there.
Thank you very, very much, Uncle White, for joining us with Food for Thought, brought to us by Roverman Productions, Be the Difference. And Roverman Productions, in partnership with the National Theatre, presents an original Ibo White play titled Take Over. Now, there is total panic and chaos when Apostle Gideon returns from surgery. His daughter Mary sparks uproar on social media with explicit videos, while within his own church, two of his subordinates orchestrated takeover. How will he reclaim her tarnished reputation and confront the wolves disguised as sheep within his flock? Takeover intricately weaves a tale of greed, integrity, and unwavering love of a father for his wayward child. The play shows on 5th, 6th, 7th, 12th, 13th, and 14th July 2024. Showtimes: Fridays, 1 show only at 7 p.m. Saturdays, 2 shows only at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. And Sundays, 3 shows at 1 p.m., 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Venue: National Theatre. Rate 200 Ghana cedis. Buy your ticket via Koba short code *365 *535#. For enquiries, call 0596 921960 or send a WhatsApp to 0505 546030. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms at Roverman Productions, proudly sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix and GCB Bank Limited, communications partner M Notify and Logistic Movers. Buy your tickets now. Roverman Productions, Be the difference. But now time for the Joy Business Minute, brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you and Anointed Electricals, the generator experts.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, Anointed Electricals, the generator experts, and Waikari Capital together towards tomorrow. IMF is worried that upcoming elections and related spending could derail Ghana's program with the fund. This was captured in a statement issued after the board passed the country on a second review. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has revealed that the $360 million IMF cash should hit the Bank of Ghana's account today. Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuani has warned that Ghana could return to debt distress status by 2029 if measures are not put in place to retire restructured debt by that time. And a lawyer representing victims of two fatal Boeing 737 MAX crashes has told the BBC that the US government is preparing to offer the plane maker a quote sweetheart plea deal. And that's the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, Anointed Electricals, the generator experts, and Waikari Capital together towards tomorrow.
Right, so welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. And on Big Stories this morning, brought to us by Telecel, connecting Energy's latest phone, your partner for life and equity health insurance, here for you. Our focus is on this.
I
found it worrying. I was in distress. The doctors advised that they need to amputate my leg to bring me relief, but it rather worsened my plight because I'm experiencing discomforts in the other leg.
It goes to some time. I even regretted she was my mother because I was like, if she's not my mother, I wouldn't have gotten that sickness.
Well, with the BP, I know it is more or less a hereditary issue because in my father's line, my mother's line, it's there. Myself, my younger brother after me, and my sister come after. We are all on BP medication. My wife herself is hypertensive. Hers is due to pregnancy.
Sometimes you get the dialysis man, but the Lord fair, you will not get, so you will not go unless the money is up to. Sometimes you get the money and the FM can come. When we come back, there is nothing for us to eat again.
Sad, isn't it, Raymond?
No, that is very touching. The last lady's comment there, we have failed there collectively. We are supposed to insulate some of these people from the shocks that conditions like they bring to their lives. See, there are people who ordinarily are suffering and struggling to make ends meet. They live hand to mouth. These people, a shock like this will take them far lower than they are supposed to be, which means that there should be intervention, safety net, to make sure we cushion them, which also means that, and she said something, even if there's money for the dialysis, transportation is an issue.
Yeah.
And she said to make it, when she returns, she cannot get food to eat. Or you may know, she's also the breadwinner in the family. Her days off means that there's some work that's required. No, this is painful. This really puts in a different perspective altogether.
Look, Raymond, it's very painful.
Yeah.
And look, you and I, we are considered middle class.
Yeah.
But imagine if we had to undergo 8 dialysis sessions in a month.
Take it out of my salary.
Take it out of our salary. If we are supposed to pay 700 Ghana cedis per session.
Yeah.
7 times 8.
1 month.
Is 56. That's 5,600.
Yeah.
How many of us
can afford this?
When
the last time we were discussing average salary being 3,000 for public servants, you think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
So 70% of them do not earn up to 3,000 or 3,000 or below. You think about it.
Yeah.
It can't afford you the required dialysis that you need. Let's put every other element out of it and say we are still having a sustainable system for dialysis. Even your contribution to it. For most people I know who are on dialysis, they may have to stop work or do other things because for some reason they feel very weak after sessions. So taking 3 days out of your usual week. You now at the work, they are seeking opportunity to sack you because they feel that you are not giving 100%, and there are 1,500 people who are waiting to take your job. Then you have this compounding your stay. Then you can't afford it. But it's when the woman talks about being able to get transportation to the facility. So that's another length of the access issue that sometimes people forget. It's a big problem. Being able to access it. You remember Priscilla Santis' case?
Yeah.
In her case, there were days that they couldn't transport her to the facility because of the distance.
Yeah.
And when they added the cost of the distance to the kind of payments she had to make, it became too much for a family to bear. And this burden, she pleaded, if you listen to her king, she pleaded with government, she pleaded with everybody who could come to their aid to intervene. This crisis creeped up on us. We have transitioned as a society without the requisite systems transitioning with us. So at the time, our food system allowed us to consume a lot of carbohydrates and its related ones, which means that Kojo, we were very active people. We were walking longer distance. We were doing a lot of physical work. So it made it easy for us to sustain ourselves. Sometimes when I calibrate the people in my family and when they died, it is the people who lived way better lives, who had a lot of money, who died earlier. Who were supposed to be better off, they are the ones who died earlier.
Yeah.
People who were very active because they had to survive. They had to move from one place to the other, go to the farm and do the others. They are the ones who lived longer. But our transition was not complete. We did not transition to a system where food systems will allow us to eat according to what we need now. And all those lifestyle difficulties came in. Then eventually, our health system too did not transition with us. We were left in the process. We didn't put preventive health care or promotion at the core of our health structure. So for most people, you only realize at age 45 or so that you have diabetes or you have what they call it, hypertension. Then even mostly it comes up first when you have had a crisis. One of them.
Yeah.
Because ordinarily it doesn't show up anywhere, and we are not in tune a system that provides us the opportunity to have those things done. It's a very sad morning.
Guys, I want to say two things, okay, very quickly. The first one is that there is a domino effect. And the second one is that the future is bleak. Let me start with the domino effect. You see, the thing about these non-communicable diseases is that one leads to another, to another, to another. Okay? So if you have diabetes, the problem is that the glucose in the food you eat remains in your blood. It doesn't get absorbed by your cells into and used as energy. So it's still in your blood, moving through your organs. All right. Now, you just imagine glucose. You see how granular it feels. So it's mixed in your blood, and that granular blood is now pumping through your organs, damaging them all. On top of that, you then get hypertension, because what is hypertension? It's the thinning of your organs so that the pressure of your blood is the pressure at which your blood is pumped is too strong, right? So if the blood is too thick, first of all, the membranes of your arteries are too thick, so the thick blood is pumping too hard through your arteries. It will destroy those arteries. The weaker, tinier vessels that lead to parts of your body like your eyes, your kidneys, your feet, your sex organs, those are the ones that get damaged first. So your diabetes leads to hypertension, leads to blindness, leads to amputation, leads to heart disease, because your heart is working overtime to pump this thick sludge through your thin veins. So you get heart disease as well. Then before you know it, you have kidney failure. So it's a domino effect. I mean, stroke, do you know the number of young people who are getting strokes these days?
Yeah. And sometimes you hear your friend died. I mean,
and you are wondering,
this guy, really?
How? So this is what I'm talking about when I say the domino effect. You get one, you get them all. And each one of these things cost a fortune to manage. Now imagine you have them all.
Yeah.
Right? That's the domino effect. Now let me quickly touch on the fact that the future is bleak. What's the solution to this? It is better for us to prevent it than for us to just figure out how to cure all of those who are developing non-communicable diseases. It's better for us to prevent people from getting it. But how do you prevent it? Good lifestyle, healthy eating. good lifestyle maybe is possible for us to, encourage Ghanaians to live a healthier lifestyle, to walk a bit more, run a bit more, be a bit less sedentary. It's possible. But the healthy eating is the problem. Because in reality, a healthy plate of food should be 2/3 fruits and vegetables, less than a quarter carbohydrates. Then you have your proteins making up the rest. That's what a healthy plate of food should look like. That's why in the UK they have this 1 of your 5 a day campaign going on. In Ghana, are you sure you can tell people who live on gari and beans, fufu, kenke, banku, that they should somehow start eating more fruit and vegetables than the carbohydrates? That carbohydrates should be a quarter of their meal?
It doesn't work.
How? How will it work?
I've tried.
Do you know the price of tomatoes? Do you know the price of mango?
No, I get you, because you see, there's a theory that we had in eating that when it makes me full, then I'm complete.
Yes.
We are not looking at the element of nutrition properly.
No.
So we are just looking at when it makes me full, and that theory has persevered for a long time. That when you are staying away from it, you can't go and buy. Imagine a small cup. Winston, imagine buying a small cup. Wow, we share small cup of rice, and all the things, and you can afford. How? Because we were struggling to afford some time ago.
But you see, I still use us as an example.
Yeah.
You, Raymond, you, Kojo Youngson, and me, Winston. How often can we go by this?
Thank you.
So you see, this is the problem.
Yeah.
Look, let's be very
No,
honest.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Let's be very. Today, I told you the tomatoes. When I went to buy, the lady said the same tomatoes that I was buying for 80 Ghana cedis, 90 Ghana cedis. Then it moved to 120, 130. The next time I went 150. Then last week I went 200. And the girl says one is 5 Ghana cedis.
One tomato.
One, 5 Ghana cedis. Now, today, and I'm going to introduce another point. Today, even me, I am scared of the lettuce. I am scared of the cabbage because of how we've destroyed our environment. So, in order to even eat healthy in this country, unless you're doing greenhouse farming, or you are actually buying imported vegetables.
I mean, can we do this?
You see?
Can we do this?
And so what are you going to do? What you're going to do is just to look back and have what you get. And so your thinking is that, fufu, my ancestors ate fufu. They lived long. Let me also go and eat the fufu.
Your ancestors did not live long. Don't be deceived. Your ancestors did not live long. It's just that you didn't know what was killing them. You thought it was some old woman who was stirring a pot in a dark room that was killing them. No, it was diabetes and hypertension.
When they ate the fufu, they could go straight to their farms,
Thank
walk
you.
distance, and clear all the fufu in their system, convert them, and burn them as energy.
We eat fufu and come to
come to sleep.
You are a receptionist.
Yeah.
When if somebody in the next room has a visitor, you call them on the phone.
No movement.
So how are you going to live?
You see, and we are in a, because I've heard people say that our next pandemic is the non-communicable diseases.
It has started.
I'm not sure what our response or preparation for the pandemic is.
We are joking with it. And you see, when you have it, you don't feel symptoms. Yeah. You don't feel symptoms. So if you are not someone who does checkups and these things, you will just die.
I walked to the hospital one day, not feeling well. And then the doctor checks my blood pressure. Looked at me and said, "Oh, you're a lucky man." You're a lucky man.
I've been told that before.
Because if you hadn't come here today, and had stayed for 2 more days, I'm sorry, you wouldn't be here. And so you're very right. And I mean, after that, I have made it a habit to consistently check. And I was telling you the last time, one of the things I fear the most. So you're always checking your blood sugar, you're checking your kidney. You just want to be sure that you are okay. But the question really is, how do we prevent these? Anyway, look, that's what we're going to be talking about here on the Super Morning Show. But of course, this morning also we'll tell you more about the JoyNews Impact Makers Award. Eunice Esiedua Japan emerging victorious, the overall winner. Of course, she deserves it. But imagine buying and selling across Africa from the comfort of your home or office without changing your currency. Imagine doing this with your own mobile wallet. This is possible with interoperability of payments. The Africa Prosperity Network is hosting the continent-wide Mobile Interoperability Symposium on 5th July at the Labadi Beach Hotel in Accra, Ghana, under the theme Scaling Up Interoperability, Using Mobile Money to Buy and Sell Across Africa. This groundbreaking event brings together leaders and policymakers to integrate mobile payment systems and remove barriers to cross-border trade. It supports AFTA's Digital Trade Protocol initiative, highlighting the importance of interoperability in the African Union's Agenda 2063. Advancing interoperable mobile money platforms will unlock new opportunities, drive economic growth, and empower small businesses like never before. Be part of building an interconnected, prosperous African economy. Register now at register.africaprosperitynetwork.com. For more information, call us on 0536098325 or 0302-737-879 or leave us a message. protocol@africaprosperity.network. The future of borderless mobile commerce starts here.
Beloved, you are about to have the world at your fingertips because the wait is finally over. Telecel is here. Now you have everything you want and need. Quick and reliable communication, stress-free money transactions via Telecel Cash, transforming your big business ideas into success stories with Telecel Business and more. Connect with Telecel and enjoy a world of endless possibilities because with Telecel, there is no limit to connections. Telecel, connecting energies.
Now, picture this. You're lying in bed after a long day, seeking comfort and relaxation, but instead you are met with a mattress that sucks beneath you. A reminder of shortcuts and compromises. Your comfort and well-being should have never been compromised. That's why we at Latest Foam prioritize quality above all else. Step into our showrooms and experience the difference for yourself. Our high-quality mattresses and furniture are crafted with your ultimate relaxation in mind. Picture waking up refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the day. That's the Latest Foam promise. Invest in your well-being. Choose Latest Foam. Otherwise, you do yourself. Oh, Latest Foam is your partner for life. Visit us today and sleep better tonight. Call us at +233 302 231155 or +233 322 008499 or visit us online at latestfoamghana.com.
Right, stay with us. When we return, we'll bring you our latest hotline documentary, NCDs, The Silent Epidemic. We'll be right back.
I send them, you get them. I get them, I send them. I get them, I pay them.
Telecel Cash.
I get them, I take them.
Telecel Cash.
You get them.
I send them.
Telecel Cash.
I send them, you get them.
Telecel Cash.
I get them.
I buy them. I take them.
I pay them. I send them.
Telecel Cash. Telecel Cash.
Experience the ultimate convenience of sending money on Telecel Cash. Sending money from Telecel Cash to Telecel Cash is free. You can also make payments to merchants on all networks. Enjoy best value and total security with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Beautiful people, we are live in town, soaking in the excitement about the partnership between Access Bank and PABS, revolutionizing the way people move money across Africa. Let's hear directly from those reaping the benefits.
It's a relief. Anytime I send money back home, my family receives exactly what I send them, instantly.
I'm studying in Ghana, but originally from Nigeria. With this service, my parents send my school and hostel fees directly, and they do it with so much ease.
I run a fashion business. Let me tell you, sending and receiving money across Africa without those annoying forex fees has really cut down our operational costs.
Benefit from instant payments across Africa with zero foreign exchange hassle. Visit our website www.ghana.accessbankplc.com or call our toll free on 0800 00 4400 for all your cross-border payments.
Pass it with Access Bank.
Access Bank, more than banking.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
In partnership with the National Theatre and Joy FM, Roverman Productions presents an original play by Uncle White, Take over.
Kebab, my boy.
Papa.
How are you doing today?
It is a battle, Papa.
You don't mean
because
it.
As the Bible says, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Really?
And if the flesh was weak in the time of Jesus when there was no infusible or social media, slave queens and side chicks.
Jesus Christ.
You can imagine how weaker it is today. But no fears because we have your covering, Papa.
You and Misapplied Bible Quotations.
Take over. Shows on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 12th, 13th, and 14th of July 2024. Venue, National Theatre. Fridays at 7 p.m. Saturdays at 4 and 8 p.m. and Sundays at 1, 4 and 8 p.m. Rate 200 Ghana cedis. Buy your tickets by the Cover Shot code *365*535# and at all regular outlets. Sponsors Gino Tomato Mix and GCB Bank. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
You're welcome back. It's time now for our Hotline documentary produced by Emmanuel Jivenu and Abla D'Souza. Now, deaths from NCDs globally are very high. The World Health Organization estimates that a total of 41 million deaths, or over 71% of global deaths, are due to non-communicable diseases. It's also estimated that over 80% of global deaths from NCDs are due to these four groups: cardiovascular disease, cancers, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes. In Ghana, well, there's very limited population-based data on non-communicable diseases. Despite this, available data from research and surveys suggest that NCDs and their associated risk factors are on the ascendancy. So today, through stories of individuals living with diabetes, hypertension, and end-stage kidney failure, we are about to gain an intimate understanding of the human impact behind these statistics. Ladies and gentlemen, NCDs, the silent epidemic.
Non-communicable diseases, of course, have been around for a long time, and it's traditionally or historically been a problem for high-income countries. A few decades now, we've seen a shift in low and middle-income countries such as Ghana, South Africa, Zambia, and so on, where non-communicable diseases are beginning to increase.
I think that it's about lifestyle transition. As societies are moving from low income to middle income, lifestyle changes, and due to those lifestyle changes, it comes up with those sort of diseases.
A silent epidemic is sweeping through Ghana, affecting millions of lives. Non-communicable diseases, or NCDs, are a growing threat to global health, and the cost burden is staggering.
If you ask me as a clinician, one condition I fear most, in fact I fear diabetes even more than cancer, because once your sugar is so high, it affects virtually all tissues, all organ systems in the body.
The World Health Organization reports that NCDs account for over 30% of deaths in Ghana, with diabetes prevalence doubling in the past decade and affecting around 6% of the population. Also, hypertension, often undetected until complications arise, silently impacts over 1/3 of Ghanaian adults.
About 612,000 new cases of hypertension alone are diagnosed every year. That is quite consequential in terms of the financial implications.
It's like a ticking time bomb, and if we don't address it, it's going to be catastrophic.
In this documentary, we uncover the human stories behind these statistics and explore impact of NCDs on the affected persons, the family, the health system, and the national purse. When a daughter does not know how to interpret her emotions after being diagnosed with diabetes at age 15, the only sentiment she can dig up is hate.
I really felt bad and it hurts me a lot. It goes to some time I even regretted she was my mother, because I was like, if she's not my mother, I wouldn't have gotten that sickness.
A tough admission, though this sentiment has changed over time from gaining a better understanding, the fear of her mother's fate befalling her lingers. Mercy Ogbojo lost her left leg in September 2022, 15 years after her diagnosis. The once busy trader is now confined to her home.
Sepio ninge store hulo province store sepio kan yo no yo apenya gbafu lopio le ichu enuku pinyewe.
This life-altering procedure was the only way to keep her alive.
And ko egbanya se jatamo munen ehiham kra eneno konya ne doctor bika ka puinaniyo le ma penya gba ka maham lo esane apona no kone mo no ma pe free ne ko ba sen no se na po no hu lololu o ka ke one pie lo hu enyinya gba.
Behind this show of strength is a deep-seated fear of the unknown. 2 years after the amputation, her right leg is showing signs she's familiar with. Mercy fears this could end her life.
When we talk about diabetes, we're looking at 3 key things. One is a chronic metabolic disorder. And why is the disorder? The disorder is that the person is either not making adequate insulin, or the person is producing the insulin, but the insulin is not functioning or working efficiently or effectively. So there's a problem with quantity, and there's also a problem with the quality. And then you can also have a combination of the two happening, where the insulin production is a problem and its function is also a problem. And once insulin is not working properly, then it means that the amount of sugar, what we call glucose in the blood, that the insulin has to help move into the cells of the body for the body to burn, stays in the blood. And then the sugar goes up. 1 month course of a newer anti-diabetic agent may be in the range of 400 to 600 Ghana cedi. So if the person has to be on antihypertensive as well, then you're looking at moving into the thousands.
She traces the disease to her father and uncle, a secret both men had kept from their children. Their silence may have been driven by the fear of stigma, denial, or maybe a desire to protect their loved ones from worry. This is a mistake Mercy has refused to make.
I've been following my mom to check up, so they've been telling me that because I'm the only child of my mother and then I'm the firstborn also, it can be heredity, so I should take good care of myself.
The non-modifiable risk factors may contribute between 30 to 40% of your diabetes risks, whilst the modifiable risk factors contribute almost 60 to 70%. So if you're able to handle those that you can do something about, then those that you cannot do, those you can do something about would overshadow what you cannot do anything about. Now, what are the things you cannot do anything about? That's the non-modifiable risk factors. The fact that you are black, you cannot do anything about your aging. The other thing you cannot do anything about is your genetic predisposition. That is your family history. So if diabetes runs through your family, then you stand a higher risk of also developing diabetes. Now, what are some of the modifiable things? What are some of the things we can do something about? Things like inactivity, weight gain, excessive alcohol intake, and then things like eating food that are so refined. They all put you at higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
Obinna Frimpong is a pupil's teacher. In his family, hypertension is not just a diagnosis. It is a generational legacy none of them asked for. His parents, siblings, and even his wife navigates the daily challenges of managing high blood pressure.
Well, with the BP, I know it is more or less a hereditary issue because in my father's line, my mother's line, it's there. As it stands now, I think I'm the fourth born of my parents, and three of us, myself, my younger brother after me, and my sister come after. We are all on BP medication. My wife herself is hypertensive. Hers is due to pregnancy. The pregnancy induced. It was hell when she was carrying that pregnancy. So I think midway the pregnancy, baby got shooting up. At a point, I think even 2 weeks or so before birth, he has to be hospitalized. Then after birth, it has not normalized again, so he was put on BP medication.
Hypertension and diabetes often coexist due to shared risk factors like obesity and an unhealthy lifestyle. Having hypertension or diabetes may increase the risk of developing the other.
With the diabetes, I think it was 3 years ago. That one also, I was having some funny feelings one morning, so I decided to go for checkup. And when I went, my blood sugar level was very high. I think at that time it was 13 point something. A week later when I went, it looks like it was still high. So he told me that we have to start the treatment. So he placed me on medication. And later on too, he directed me to go and see a nutritionist as to the type of food I should be taking in to regularize it.
So we say diabetes and then hypertension are like brother and sister. So when somebody has diabetes that is not properly managed or early detected and controlled, it's able to stimulate some systems in the body to the extent that the blood pressures go up. So when you live with diabetes that is not properly managed or controlled, it can lead to high blood pressure. Yes, it can lead to high blood pressure. And again, if the person develops the two that is not well controlled, it can lead to heart diseases and then brain diseases like strokes and the likes.
So for an individual living with high blood pressure or diabetes or obesity or cancer, the impact comes from various areas. Okay, so first of all, the most common thing is with finances. It puts a big dent in the finances of the individual in that they have to go for regular hospital visits. They have to buy medication, and the buying of the medication is about 70 to 75% of what the income that they are generating. NCD research that was done in Gamashin, it's about 600. The people earn about 600 cedis per month. Okay, on the average, that's the salary that people earn, and they're using about 75% of their salary just to buy medication. That's for those who are living with these NCDs.
In a more recent study that was conducted and funded by the Farm Access Foundation, we realized that at the individual level, it cost approximately 6,266, to control or manage, diabetes and then hypertension.
Also, it impacts on their psychological health. Okay, so as they go on, they can get to a point of depression. They get to a point of anxiety. They're living with this disease and they wonder to what end. To what end? And then they say they get to a point where they are tired of taking their medication. So then they stop. And sometimes they want alternatives. They want alternative sources of treatment.
Rosemary Boedu's journey with end-stage kidney disease began at the tender age of 13, a time when most children are filled with dreams and aspirations. Hers was overshadowed by the specter of chronic illness. What seemed like a minor discomfort soon escalated into a life-altering diagnosis.
We went to several hospitals. They did not find out what was happening to me. So a friend of my mother introduced a hospital to us to go there. So when we went there, they wrote a letter for my mother to go to another hospital. But then we did not open the letter. And when my mother opened it too, she did not tell me what was in the letter. And so we went to that hospital at home. When we went there, they treated me and I became fine, but I don't know what they told my mother. I don't know that they have told my mother that I have to go for dialysis so that they will do something for me. So now my kidney is no more working. The two of them have been damaged. And the work that is that can no more do it. So I have to go to Kolebu so that they will use machine to do that work for me.
It was only after a series of referrals and mysterious letters that the full extent of her condition became clear. Her kidneys have failed, and her only lifeline was the grueling routine of dialysis.
Yeah, of course, everybody on your phone. How can you be calling someone every day, every time to ask for money? How would that person feel for you? So sometimes it happens that I'll not go. Even today, tomorrow I'll be going to dialysis. But as I'm here, I'm still thinking about who I go home to call and ask for money. If I did not get, then that means I'll not go. I'm here writing exams. That's what I can do to get strength and walk and sit down for a long time. Then it means maybe I cannot write the exam or come to school. And I don't want that thing to happen to me too.
In younger age group, the number of cases of kidney failure from diabetes tend to be much lower. They develop kidney failure usually more from infective conditions. So like infections within the urinary tract, sometimes may come from complications of malaria, or may come from complications of other conditions that may make the red cells break down.
In terms of the intangible costs, quite a number of some studies have made effort to measure it, but normally it's a bit difficult. For example, how do you measure pain, excruciating pain that a cancer patient is going through? You know, what is the intensity of the pain? What is the cost? And what about the psychological trauma and all that they go through? What about the depression some of them experience as a result of their condition? Normally these are a bit difficult to quantify, but they constitute a very big burden on these patients.
Being in school gives Rosemary some level of joy, but her current condition makes it difficult for the young girl to be regular in class. She has to visit the hospital twice in a week for her dialysis sessions. Rosemary and the mother relocate from the Oti region to stay with a friend in Accra to be able to visit Kolebu. Unfortunately, the philanthropist who had been helping to pay for her renal sessions could not continue after 2 years due to a business slowdown. Since last year, her daily existence has now been marked by a delicate dance of survival.
Sometimes you get the dialysis man, but the Lord fair you will not get, so you will not go unless the money is up to. Sometimes you get the money and the Lord fair go and come, When we come back, there is nothing for us to eat again.
She is very academically inclined. She attends school regularly. It's when her health worries her that you would not see her in school. There were times that she would go for dialysis and would want to come back to school immediately after because she doesn't want to lose any of her lessons.
Her dreams of becoming a doctor were overshadowed by the harsh reality of her present, the financial burden of dialysis, the constant worry of finding funds for treatment, and the looming uncertainty of her health all weighs heavily on her young shoulders. Kidney transplant is often the preferred long-term treatment option. Transplant may offer the possibility of restoring kidney functions and improving quality of life compared to ongoing dialysis. Unfortunately, Rosemary and the mother have been pushed to the very edge of society. To even afford 1 square meal a day is a luxury, let alone afford to pay for a transplant. But they remain hopeful in the face of adversity.
Universal health coverage aims to ensure that all individuals have access to essential health services without experiencing financial barriers. This plays a crucial role in addressing the burden of NCDs by providing timely access to preventive measures such as screenings, vaccinations, and health education, which can help identify risk factors and detect NCDs at an early stage. By removing out-of-pocket expenses at the point of service, experts believe this will play a very crucial role in reducing the burden of NCDs, promote health equity, and improve the overall well-being of individuals.
NCDs often require a lifelong management, unlike acute illnesses that may be resolved with treatment. This places a continuous demand on healthcare services and resources, requiring ongoing funding and support from the National Health Insurance Scheme to provide quality care to affected individuals.
The National Health Insurance is what we have available, and so these NCDs are putting a lot of stress on the amount of money which is already not enough, and then more of it has to go into catering for those with the non-communicable disease.
Even if the government is not directly giving enough resources to these patients, the medical doctors employed by the state do provide support for these patients. The health facilities, when they do visit, they pay no consultation fee, or the consultation fee is subsidized. So when we look at all these in tandem, government support may remain quite substantial, but at the same time, inadequate.
If you look at our health sector medium-term plan, which is a 4-year document from 2022 to 2025, we've gone through midway of the implementation. So as we speak, we are even doing midterm evaluation of that plan. When we were developing it, we saw that NCD is becoming an issue. So we put in the document that we need to find data and to be able to quantify the impact of NCDs.
So we can segment this in 3 portions, so to say. So we have preventive interventions, those that are going to prevent people from getting the non-communicable diseases. But if they do get the non-communicable diseases, we have to treat them. So the treatment interventions. And when we're treating the people, we have to prevent them from getting the complications. So the management aspect as well, we have to think about how we do this.
The prevalence of NCDs in Ghana is not just a health concern, but also a significant financial burden on the national purse. As the number of cases increases, so does the cost of managing these chronic conditions. This strain on healthcare resources affects government spending, healthcare budgets, and the overall economy. Finding sustainable solutions to address the impact of NCDs on the national purse is crucial, but the country's long-term health and financial well-being is also at stake.
In Ghana in particular, there is one study that I was looking at that suggests that it costs between 4% to 160% of the national income per capita, okay, for a year of disability life, okay, redeemed. In other words, to be able to save somebody from disability related to hypertension, it costs the health system between 4% to 160% of the national income per capita, okay? And this is based on what sort of treatment regime you are using. So for us to be able to know the overall cost, we can look at the floor of 4% of the national income per capita to the maximum level multiplied by the population within that bracket, which could be huge. In fact, if you want to look at this even in the context of, say, diabetes, okay, which the estimate on the African continent is about $543 per annum for treatment, okay. If you say you were looking at it from that point, think about in Ghana, that 50% within the 30 to 79 year bracket, and multiply, we said that about 50%. So if you multiply that 50% by this quantity, the $540-something, that's a lot of money on an annual basis, okay? So for me, if you ask me, I'll say that the cost is huge. But all these are not accurate estimates, okay? They are based on certain conditions. And so if you ask me from that perspective, the cost on the state, that is the health system alone, is huge.
And it is estimated that between 0.5 to 3% of GDP is eroded as a result of NCDs. And this could even be higher because we've already made the case that about 50% of NCD cases are undiagnosed. You know, so if they are really diagnosed and we can track the cost. One way of measuring this cost is to look at it from the perspective of how much would the nation save when we are able to prevent a case. And there are indications by, Robinson and the Harvard Working Group that suggests that a year of life saved is equivalent to, 1.2 multiplied by the per capita income of that country. So if we're able to avert the death of a cancer patient, for example, of a patient who is suffering from, severe hypertension, etc., is another way of saving the per capita income of that person per annum. And currently, the per capita income of Ghana from the World Bank data 2022 is about 2,203 USD. So if we're able to prevent one mortality, that is at least the amount we are saving. So if you have about 100,000 deaths that are averted as a result of some interventions put in place, then we are saving the 1.2 multiplied by 2,203 by that number. I'm not even taking into consideration discounted over time.
The choices we make in our daily lives have a profound impact on our health outcomes. Unhealthy lifestyles, characterized by poor diet and lack of physical activity, experts say, contribute significantly to the rising cases of NCDs.
Emphasis here is that we shouldn't allow the complications to set in before we run around to solve the problem. Prevention is the key. Prevention is the key.
There are a few of them that will still end up in terminal stages. What then it means is that our health financing system should begin to look at how we finance NCDs, okay? And that's a big conversation that a big conversation that we can have as a country. We need to have a massive campaign to begin to alter our lifestyles, okay? And for me, that is very, very important.
We should definitely encourage our population to be aware about diabetes and cancers and what these are, how they can identify them, and how they can prevent them.
I also want to see commitment from our side, I mean government and ministry, with respect to resources. Because if you don't get the resources to the implementing agencies to do that, then we may not see the successes that we want to see from the implementation.
We know what to do, but are we actually doing it? So the practicalization of the knowledge is very important in order to curb this problem. If we don't do it, then we are heading for trouble.
The cost burden of non-communicable diseases in Ghana is escalating, impacting individuals, families, the healthcare system, and the national purse. It is imperative for multi-stakeholder engagement involving government, healthcare providers, insurers, civil society organizations, NGOs, and the private sector to implement comprehensive strategies aimed at reducing the prevalence of NCDs. By promoting healthy lifestyles, early detection through regular screenings, and ensuring access to affordable treatment and care, we can collectively work towards reducing the numbers of NCD cases and alleviating the financial strain on individuals.
We've got lots to talk about, so we'll take a quick break, but when we come back, you're going to hear a bit more from those who participated in the documentary. Professor Gordon Abekan Nkrumah is a senior lecturer of Public Administration and Health Services Management at the University of Ghana Business School. We'll also hear from Dr. Eric Nsia Boateng, who is in charge of monitoring and evaluation at the Ministry of Health, and Dr. Da Costa Abuaji, who's the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority. We need some holistic solutions. We'll tackle those after these messages.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Happy Monday and welcome to Vital Signs by Sonotech Medical Center. I'm Dr. Grace Bachman. Today we're exploring the basics of hepatitis as we mark Hepatitis Awareness Month. What exactly is hepatitis? Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver, an essential organ that processes nutrients, filters blood, and fights infections. There are 5 main types of hepatitis: A, B, C, D, and E. Each type is caused by a different virus and affects the liver in unique ways. Hepatitis A and E are typically spread through contaminated food and water, whilst hepatitis B, C, and D are usually transmitted through blood and body fluids. This means activities like unprotected sex, sharing needles, and even childbirth can spread these viruses. Find Sonotech on social media at SonotechGH as we create awareness this month ahead of World Hepatitis Day. Also reach us on 0242 439 467.
It's a First Thursday special treat at Achimota Retail Center every first Thursday of the month. Let's take your first Thursday of the month to a whole new level. Join us for a terrific outdoor movie night in July, Get Fit with ALC in August, Bingo or Quiz Night in September, Karaoke in October, Fashion Event in November, and Open Air Jam with DJs and hype men in December. It's going to be an amazing experience you won't want to miss. You will also get to enjoy discounts on pizza from Pizza Inn. Buy one, get one free. Come and enjoy an unforgettable time with us every first Thursday at ALC at Shimota Retail Center. And your vibes in
Gasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases leading to stroke and may even affect our eyesight in the long run. Grandmothers, mothers, sisters, wives, men, caterers, and everyone still cooking with charcoal, let's switch to LPG gas. The National Petroleum Authority has introduced the cylinder recirculation model in collaboration with local partners to make gas more accessible in all local communities. Whether you own a cylinder or not, join our CRM initiative. Simply show up at any exchange point near you with a small down payment to receive a filled cylinder or swap your empty one. Regular safety checks will be in place. Say ebisa mo say mo gas. Afi de gasaba. Switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a better and healthier life. This message is brought to you by the National Petroleum Authority and the Ministry of Energy.
Name is Akrobeto. I like my mind peace. That's why I go get my bumper insurance from Holland Life. Just yesterday, my Abushapeni asked everybody to pay 1,000 Ghana cedis for a penny funeral. But Masa, Nukreni, and Mosomekora. My bumper helped me cover cost of funeral and any disability cost by paying 2 Ghana cedis per Bushumibia. A simple crowd.
Yes, with as little as 2 Ghana cedis, you too can have peace of mind about cost of injury and funeral by simply registering with Mibambo Insurance from Holland Life. Just dial *269# on MTN or Telecel and follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Enjoy peace of mind today, knowing your tomorrow is covered. Mibambo Insurance, made for you.
It's 8:57. You're welcome back to the Super Morning Show, and we've just shared the documentary on NCDs, the silent killer. Look, it's quite clear that there's a need for a nationwide effort just to survive this hidden enemy. And I think we've got the 3 best people to help us understand the size and scope of the problem and how to solve it. Joining us for this conversation, Professor Gordon Abekan-Krumah is a senior lecturer of Public Administration and Health Services Management at the University of Ghana Business School. He's joining us over the phone alongside Dr. Eric Nsiah-Boateng, who is in charge of monitoring and evaluation at the Ministry of Health. And joining us via Zoom is the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Dacosta Abuaje. Good morning, Docs and Prof.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for making the time. Now, I think I'm going to go through this with you one by one, starting with Professor Abekan-Krumah. So let's talk about the financial burden of these non-communicable diseases. How serious is the burden on patients, on the healthcare system, and on Ghana's economy?
Thank you very much, Kojo, and good morning to you and your listeners. So, when we talk about NCDs in general, it's over a big, if you like, space. But I think that on this documentary, I think the focus is being on, based on what I talked about, was on hypertension. And that seems, hypertension and diabetes seems to be the most common NCD. So maybe we can just pick one of them and look at its effects and try to, if you like, simulate it from there. So, for instance, if you take hypertension, okay, there are studies that suggest that hypertension incidence in the general population is about 30.3%, and you can look at it in the context of the uncertainty. So it ranges from a confidence interval of about 26.1 to about 34.8. So what it means is that the prevalence could go to about 34.8, approximately 35%. And if you look at the cost of treatment, so when you talk about cost of treatment, you can look at it from about three sides. You can talk about direct cost of treatment from the side of the patient, and then you can talk about the cost of treatment from the side of the state, because remember that in Ghana, healthcare is highly subsidized by the state. And then you can talk about the cost of treatment in terms of opportunity cost. Opportunity cost here means time lost to productive activities based on disability. So you can look at treatment cost in these three dimensions. But first of all, let's focus on the direct treatment cost. That is the one absorbed by the patient.
Right.
There are recent studies that for Ghana that suggest that monthly cost of treatment for diagnosed patients is in the neighborhood of around 5 million USD per month, and about 5 million USD per month. And if you sort of pull the uncertainty within this treatment range using the prevalence of 30.3, which ranges from 26 to about 35, it may move to around 4.3 million to about 5.7 million a month in terms of overall cost of treatment for those who have the prevalence. And the ironic thing is that, you know, hypertension can lead to a whole lot of things, okay? When there are complications, for instance, kidney failure, it can lead to heart failure, it can lead to things like myocardial infections. And kidney failure seems to be the biggest complication that arises from hypertension. And the estimate shows that about 71% of the cost that we are talking about is related to kidney failure. And think about it, that kidney failure is used not to be on the NHIS until recently when it was added. It will mean some huge cost, okay, to patients. And so, Kojo, what I've just given you is basically direct cost of treatment. Before you can then talk about the cost on the state in terms of, remember that in Ghana, the state finances mostly everything from fixed assets that goes as input into the healthcare production process.
Right.
The state finances everything about salary. The state even finances part of the cost of medications. And by the way, the estimates that I've given you, they are based on cost of medications based on the NHIS list. And we know that the NHIS list is basically, the medications are mostly generic. And in actual practice, there are some people that might deal with medications that are not on the NHIS list. So it tells you that even the direct cost could be very, very expensive and over and above the estimate that I've given you based on what we see in the literature. Before you come to what the state then puts in based on the parameters that I've already cataloged. Before you then talk about estimates of the opportunity cost. So, for instance, somebody has hypertension with complications from kidney disease or heart failure. What it means is that the ability to work is reduced drastically. The time that they put into production activities is also reduced. That is also additional cost. So if you pull these three sets of costs together, it tells you that the cost implications of hypertension alone is incredible. And so if you then follow it to other NCDs, I would just presume that the cost on individuals and the state can be your guess. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Now, Dr. Nsia Boateng, I am aware of an NCD prevention and control program under the Ministry of Health. Tell us about it. Exactly how well resourced is it?
Yes, thank you very much, Kojo, and then good morning to your listeners. I'm happy the Director General is also on this program, and respectfully, maybe I will leave this that session to him, and then I will focus on the policy aspect of this whole discussion. You are right, we have that program, but what I can say is that as we speak, we have the national policy on the NCDs. Which the recent one, which is the 2022, it was launched in March 2022. Before that, we had an NCD policy and strategy for the year 2013 to 2017. One big challenge, which I would say from the policy level that we've not been able to do, especially with this particular strategy I just mentioned, has to do with funding. In fact, and that even informed the revision of it to the current one that I talk about, which is for starting from 2022. The funding has 2 points, if I may say so. One has to do with funding for the NCD-related activities, and here I'm talking about prevention and health promotion of risk reduction and treatment adherence. That is one arm of the funding challenge. We also couldn't find a lot of resources to also deal with prevention and control program of the NCDs. But having said this, I would like to say that the maiden one, the NCD policy, chalked a number of successes. And one of them is that it helped us to be able to promote the Public Health Act with a section on tobacco and control measures. The other successes that maybe we chalk at the policy arena will be the passage of the tobacco control regulations, that is LI 2247 of 2016. There are a number of them, for example, the inclusion of diabetes, hypertension, and road traffic injuries in Ghana's integrated service, disease surveillance and road response. So we may say that maybe funding was a challenge, but when it comes to coming out with policies and other legislative instruments to address some of the risk factors, the ministry or the sector was able to do a number of them.
Right.
The recent one, as I mentioned, is a new policy that we believe that we also have to make it a policy in terms of the funding as one of the policies to look for funding from government, from donor communities, to be able to do some of the things that I've talked about. Apart from funding, another challenge that we also saw in the implementation of the previous policy, data, and we still have that challenge. In fact, we have weak data collection system for NCD. And in the morning, I was listening to you. You mentioned some of the prevalence of some of these diseases that we have in the country. These are estimates that we have. So data collection is also another challenge that we are also working on that to be able to come out with the accurate, prevalence of the condition,
right?
In terms of the cost burden to the family, cost burden to the individuals who are unfortunately going through this. So these are the issues that, Kojo, I think for now, I will mention it, and then as the discussion goes on,
Sure.
I'll come.
Dr. Nsiah-Boateng, help us clarify something. You've talked about how one of the major issues is funding of the implementation of the policy. What would that funding have gone for? What is the money needed for? What are the specific initiatives under the policy that require funding?
Yes, in fact, there are two key issues that require funding. The first one, as I mentioned, was the NCD-related activities. And when you talk of NCD-related activities, we talk of fiscal, activities, some interventions that to promote healthy living and other things. It also goes into the medication, as we mentioned in the morning on your program. So typically, the prevention and health promotion of risk reduction and treatment adherence.
Okay.
That is one big arm.
Okay.
The other arm is the prevention and control program. You mentioned in your intro that we have the program within the sector. Funding is a key challenge for the staff over there who are working to promote and also advise Ghanaians about what to do to prevent some of these, issues.
So on paper, what are the specific things, for example, under prevention and control, what does this say in the policy that Ghana is going to do about preventing and controlling NCDs?
There are a number of activities. I'm happy yourself and your team were discussing some of them. I mean, fiscal activity is one of them. Prevention, as we all say, is better than cure. So the focus is on preventive activities and then promotive activities. We need to encourage the citizenry to, do a lot of fiscal activities, also eat well. You mentioned the issue of having the vegetables, and then we limit our consumption of carbohydrates and all those things. Eat a lot of fruits and all those things. These are the things that we believe that the attention has to focus. How do we, encourage the society? How do you encourage the population to make sure that they also include a lot of vegetables, include a lot of, fruits in whatever, food that they take? And then as much as possible, we cut down the intake of carbohydrates. So I think the focus is on preventive and promotive, activities that we believe will help us reduce the risk of NCD.
Before I bring in Dr. Da Costa, I mean, you're asking the same questions on my mind. How do we encourage people to eat more fruits and vegetables? How do we encourage people to exercise more? What does it say in the policy? If the money were to come today, what would you use it to do? How would you go about encouraging people to eat more fruits and vegetables, for example?
Yes, I think this is something that the National NCD Control Program is well versed in. There are a number of the how to do activities, if you like, as to how to go about them. At the program level, they have the strategic intervention, they have the implementation plans to go about this. And I believe that when we are able at the sector, at the ministry level, to be able to mobilize the resource, the required funding for them, these implementation documents that they have as to how we should, encourage the population to embark on regular fiscal activities, and also make sure that the dietary, intake is more of the vegetables and then the fruit that we are all talking about. Is something that we have confidence in the program managers to be able to carry out.
All right.
And as I mentioned, I believe Dr. Abuaji will add a lot to that.
Okay, it's a good time to bring in Dr. Da Costa Abuaji, who, of course, is the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority. Dr. Abuaji, you are quite literally the biggest primary healthcare financing scheme in the country. And this is more than anything a money problem. How is the NHIA attacking NCDs?
Okay, good morning, and thank you for inviting me to your program. Let me say that it's a good program. I think let me address some things before I come to how the NHIS is actually will be supporting the NCD programs in terms of funding. I believe that the NCDs are the next pandemic, and we really need to take it serious and tackle it from the roots. And in doing this means that the gentleman that spoke talked about obviously the promotive activities that are needed, obviously, to aid the population for a healthy living. From the NHIS point of view, we believe that for our 20-year history, it has been curative. So you wait for people to be sick before they go to the hospital. That is not right. So the new reforms coming in will be focusing on preventive healthcare using the biomedical approach. That is how we call it. So we will be introducing what we call the annual health check to detect these NCDs at the early stage. One, the benefits are that it will actually increase our life expectancy. It will reduce the cost burden on the NHIS itself. And it will also help us achieve the sustainable development goals, especially the goal 3, which talks about the wellness. So because I previously worked in the Ghana Health Service, I know that they are using the wellness. They have what we call the wellness clinics. So now all facilities are mandated to have what we call the wellness clinics. The wellness clinics is where people can go in to check their vitals and also to receive counseling in terms of good nutrition, good lifestyle advice, and others. But we believe that on your day of birth or on your month of birth, you will get a text message from the NHI. The program has not started yet, but you will get a text message to go to the nearest health facility to check at least your sugar, to check your blood pressure, and to check your weight. That's your BMI. Because when we looked at the data, hypertension, diabetes are actually one of our major cost drivers, and we need to reduce this. But in going forward, we will try and also add other labs in terms of like HPV and the others, like pap smear test and all the others. So we want to start somewhere so that we learn from it and continue with it. We have all been talking about kidney diseases. In fact, the preventive approach is the best. And bear in mind that the NHIS also fund acute kidney disease. So the dialysis that we are talking about is at the end stage. So it is time for us to take, or for us to come to the basis and say that, no, let's address this head on, right from the preventive aspect. Then we will see that initially the cost may go high as we do that, but you see that the cost burden will obviously reduce over time. So this is the NHIS approach in terms of how to deal with it. But let me say that globally, we have what we call the health in all policies. The health in all policies also put responsibility on, for example, the Ministry of Youth and Sports to promote physical activities. So there must be health in sports. There must be health in, let's say, agric. So the food that we eat, the planting for food and jobs, what is the health component in it? Are we producing more vegetables, more fruits for our people?
Right. It would seem that we have a bit of interruption.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Doc, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So, for example, I was talking about the Ministry of Agric in terms of their planting for food and jobs policy. Can we say that obviously they are empowering the farmers in such a way that they come up with more fruits? Then we come up with a policy like 5 a day.
Yeah.
Like, do you get my line? Is actually not.
Yes. There's a bit of interference.
I apologize. So those are the kind of thinking that we must be. Yes. So those are the things that we need to obviously come up with. And I believe that the need in the end, I'm happy that I was at the Ghana Health Service and I was part of those who developed these NCD policies. So I think in totality, all that I'm saying is that we must to address this from the basis. Funding is an issue. Yes, it is an issue. Apart from the vertical funding that comes in for the programs, there is no systemic funding for obviously the preventive health care. Right. So this is what the NHIS is trying to address.
Thank you for that. You mentioned the wellness centers, and I've always wondered about those. They are in the healthcare facilities, as you explained. But we all know that a big part of the problem is that our health-seeking habits as a people are not great. People don't like going to hospitals. So putting the wellness centers in the hospitals, is it not pretty much, putting them exactly where people don't go? can the NHI think about perhaps having them in places that are more accessible to people so that they will take advantage of them easier?
In fact, you are absolutely right. So that is just one of the wellness components. So it's not entirely. So if you look at the Ottawa Charter in terms of the reorientation of health services towards prevention is better than cure. In fact, we want to make sure that the health service actually is in a holistic, gets its full totality of services. So that's reorienting of health services towards prevention prevention is better than cure, as was proposed by the Ottawa Charter in 1978. It's actually has been operationalized in many countries. But bear in mind that in the hospitals, that is where we have the public health nurses. They go to the communities. They detect them. Then when they detect, they bring them to the facilities. So this is not to say that once the wellness clinics is in the facilities, the community interventions are ceased. No, they are not. It's a whole chain. So I get what you are saying, but I think it is also part of the wellness clinics, because the hospital, the public health nurses must be able to go to the communities to do education. The health promotion officers must be in the communities to do the education, so that we attract those who need the help to the hospital. But the wellness clinics concept, you see, you do not have to be sick. You do not have to be sick before you benefit from it. That is what to give us the early detection of the diseases. That's why I said it's the biomedical approach.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Doc, we've talked a lot about the prevention, which really, as you say, is the most sustainable approach. But of course, we still have huge numbers of people who have these non-communicable diseases, and we have to manage them. Now, what I've discovered through a project that I used to run here at Multimedia called the Sugar Project is that very often when we go into rural areas and we test people for diabetes and we find them to be diabetic and they get that diagnosis from the healthcare professional, it is almost like a death sentence to them, because the cost of managing that condition is impossible for many of them. And if it turns out that they are perhaps a type 1 diabetes, patient, and they need insulin, then that's even more ridiculous, because they can't even find a refrigerator to keep the medication in. That is if they could afford the medication. So, Doc, on that level, looking at the wider problem of managing non-communicable diseases across the country in the more remote areas, what is the NHIA's plan there?
Okay, thank you. I think I perfectly agree with you. You see, bear in mind that the reason why I said diabetes and hypertension is that the NHIS actually funds diabetes, hypertension. But the fact of the matter is that when we met the provider said that the tariffs are too low. So if the tariffs are too low, then it means that they have some hindrance. And you see, our act also provides that the review of the tariffs should be yearly. So, for example, if you have escalating economic situation, there is nothing that you can do about it, because obviously we might have finished the review. So the NHIS is also proposing another level of intervention, which we will take to Parliament soon, that we believe that we have to have what we call the automatic price adjustment for our pharmaceutical products. Once you do that, then you set up what we call the National Tariff Review Committee. So when the conditions or the economic situation is obviously escalating, then the National Review Tariff Committee will meet and review the tariffs. Then when prices also come down, they will meet and come. By that, you are giving them a buffer. You are actually helping them not to obviously charge the patients. But there's also another level that we have actually started just last week. Now, the government e-pharmacy platform is also going to help a lot, because now when you go to the facilities and you are diagnosed, they tell you that the medications are not there. Go to this pharmacy to take it. Go to this pharmacy to take it. And you pay for it. So we are saying that all hospital pharmacists will be enrolled on the National e-Pharmacy platform. Then when you diagnose the patient, what you have to do, the pharmacist will have the responsibility to put the prescription on the e-pharmacy platform to the patient's locality, so that the patient will just go to their locality or their local pharmacy to take the medication. Under no circumstances will patients be charged for that, but it's work in progress. Or even these pharmacists can also deliver the medications because of the property addressing systems to the various homes. This is what we do outside the country. So I believe that these reforms are ongoing, but it will all come together to help the citizens, or to help ease some of these things that we are talking about. But I believe that, yes, we have to give the facilities the right cost of, obviously, the cost of the medicines, for example, insulin that you talked about. So let's work it out, and let's everyone support the NHIS and its new reforms to see how it will actually support citizens. But it's not going to happen, obviously, just overnight. It's just work in progress. And this also means that we really have to take, like I've already said, the prevention. You see, I listened to one of your speakers. He was saying prevention. And it is prevention. In fact, the UK spends over 40% of their budget on prevention. And they have localized it in their local GPs, their local pharmacies, their local community interventions, promotive, preventive. So I think it's the same system that we're trying to see how best it will help our citizens.
Right.
I also believe that we have implementation challenges because of our structural, the structure of the country. But we are obviously poised in making an impact and doing such things. So support us in doing it, my brothers.
All right. So last thing before I take the final word from Professor Abeka Nkrumah. Dr. Nsiah Boateng talked about this prevention and control program for NCDs, and the fact that there's an entire policy simply waiting for funding, right? And you've given examples of how these policies look in other countries, the 5-a-day program in the UK and so forth. So apart from the wellness programs which are under the NHIA, is there any plan to help with the actual financing of the policies implementation at the Ministry of Health?
Okay, thank you. I think, again, you are spot on. There is actually, so in the Ghana Health Service, there's what we call the network of practice. And under the network of practice, we have secured some USAID funding to pilot some of these things that you are talking about. So how do we actually fund, let's say, education? If you are educating someone in the population, how do you fund it? You see, so we're going to try something within the network of practice and see how it will work. Once we get to know its entirety, then we look at it from the NHIS point of view. How can we also support? But I believe that a time has come that in the next phase of the NHIS, we
apologies for the interruption there, Dr. Da Costa.
To be investing in hospital. Sorry, again, that.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah,
that will reduce the cost of these NCDs. Am I back? Sorry,
yes
there was interruption. Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Yes. So I was saying that in the next phase of the NHIS, I believe that we must be investing in something like hospital equipment, because you detect these NCDs by what? Through this equipment, and it will also reduce the cost for the patient, even if they are. But let me at this point say that there are a lot that the NHIS is doing that the population do not know, and we have a lot of responsibility. And that responsibility, unfortunately, lies within the remit of the Ghana Health Service, the FDA, and the other institutions. So we need a collaborative approach in addressing all these. Other than that, our primary aim is to fund in an equitable basis. So ideally, you will know that it is really, I'll not say outside the scope, though we have a responsibility, but we do not have the expertise in terms of promoting some of these. So if you want the health promoters, it's Ghana Health Service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need, I would say, an all society approach, basically, based on the health in all policies that we have.
Right. Thank you for that. Prof. Abekan Nkrumah, I kept you for last because I wanted you to hear the interventions proposed by Dr. Nsia Boateng and Dr. Da Costa Abuaje. So you could give us, in your expert opinion, whether these will go long enough away to resolve or at least help us mitigate the effect of non-communicable diseases, or whether more is needed.
Thank you very much, Kojo. And once again, good morning to your listeners and especially the two panelists. So, yes, I mean, based on the cost profile that I gave, we know that this is not sustainable. And so I'm happy to hear promotion and prevention as the way to go. But I think that the way we do the promotion and prevention optimally is probably the question that we need to ask and try and find, if you like, optimal answers to that sort of question. I think that oftentimes when we talk about anything health, and especially NCDs, we decide to narrow our focus on the health sector. And I think that this is not a health sector issue. This is a national issue. And as Dr. Abuaje said, it is the next pandemic. Pandemics are not located to sectors. It's a national issue. So how do I see this? And what do I think will be the optimal way to go? I think we need to look at the profile. And I would look at it in three stages. The first one is those adults and young people who already have the disease and how we manage them. And then those in the middle are probably adults who may have a higher predisposition, and how do we manage them? And then the last one is young people, very young people like our kids in school. For me, they are the most important cohort, and I want to start from them. So when it comes to young people that we have to protect so that over the next 30 years, we don't have an epidemic or a pandemic on our hands, we need to deal with that group. And NCDs are basically two things. It is lifestyle, and then it is nutrition. So when you take young people in school, there are two things. It's either they are coming from affluent homes, and so their lifestyle is not good enough, or they are coming from poor homes, and so their nutrition is also not good enough. I would say that within that cohort, the focus should be on Ministry of Education, and then employment and welfare. Why do I say so? The Ministry of Education can begin to include in its syllabus issues about NCD and lifestyles and nutrition to be able to deal with this issue, so that kids at that age begin to understand this and the implications of modifying their lifestyle. And for those who nutrition is an issue, because Kojo, you see, there are kids who can be predisposed to NCDs because they have nutritional deficits at this young age. Their body systems would then readjust itself in such a way that over time they would begin to have NCD conditions. And there are a lot of studies that have shown that, especially studies that looked at pre and post World War II, where kids who had nutritional deficits had biological adjustment in terms of storing food, such that when they grew up, they became a lot more predisposed to NCDs. That can happen. So, for instance, I can see something like the one that they do in school, the school feeding program, can be a good way of ensuring that those who have nutritional deficits, the school feeding program is addressing that. And the syllabus is also addressing those kids who come from affluent homes and are focused on all these junk foods. Now, the one in the middle, we talked about exercise, we talked about vegetables, we talked about fruit. Although we know that these days vegetables are out of reach of the average Ghanaian.
Yeah.
And even where it is available, it is not good quality vegetables because of the way they are grown, the chemicals. I'm asking myself what prevents the Planting for Food and Jobs program from initiating a model that educates every average Ghanaian to plant basic vegetables in their home. I know that most homes don't have soil, but Kojo, if you come to my home, the big dispensing bottle for water dispensers, if you come to the back of my house, I just flush them, find soil, put in, and mix it with poultry droppings. And you can come and see lettuce, broccoli. You can come and see all of them at the back of my house. And I think that this can be done so that there can be easy and affordable access to vegetables.
Right.
And people will have vegetables that are of good quality.
Right.
We can look at it from this perspective, and it is not just the Ministry of Health. It can be Ministry of Agriculture as well. Then we can come to the last bit, which is what Dr. Da Costa has emphasized a lot in terms of wellness clinic, going to check, and the NHIS also paying for their cost of care, which in any case is not cheap. So basically, I would want to see an all-sector approach and not what just the Ministry of Health is doing. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Prof. And thank all of you for your contributions to this conversation. We really appreciate it. Clearly, there's more for us to talk about in the coming days and weeks. Professor Gordon Abekan Nkrumah is Professor of Public Administration and Health Service Management at the University of Ghana Business School. Dr. Eric Nsia Boateng is in charge of monitoring and evaluation at the Ministry of Health. And Dr. Da Costa Abuaje is the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority. And they've been talking to us about non-communicable diseases in the wake of our hotline documentary, NCDs, the Silent Killer. It's time for a break. Stay with us. More after these.
And it will lead me to a question. So where would we be within the next 10 to 15 years when it comes to space exploration?
I think at the current rate, it would be an insufficient growth. I think dedicated growth has to happen in terms of STEM education, in terms of providing funds and endowments to cover the bridge that's barriers to entry for people who are inspired and interested in such topics to pursue these at the highest level they can, where people who look like us and are from here as well are achieving these things, and there's also people dreaming who have no idea there's men and women up there doing what we want. Like one of the astronauts who is on the upcoming Artemis 1 crew, her name is Christina Koch. She did a study abroad in University of Ghana, and when she went up to she's a recurring astronaut. When she went up to the International Space Station, she's taking a picture of Ghana from the International Space Station. A white woman, not Ghanaian by any means, but she identified so strongly with that experience that she decided to put it out on the internet for people to draw inspiration from. Okay. Yeah.
Right. What must we do?
We must invest and accelerate that investment. He talked about STEM education. Mm-hmm. We must begin to put more money behind scholarships, endowment funds that make those science students who are scoring A's be taken into a certain level of support that is unusual. It's not cheap to go to Ivy League. It's not cheap to go study engineering at undergrad level in the United States of America. But China has done, China and India has done from 8% in 1960 to 52% in 2022. So by a 60-year period, China has eclipsed the rest of the world in taking students to the US universities. What has China benefited? China has built its own international space station as we speak. They've put men and women in space already. They've gone to the south of the moon. They've brought a moon rock to Earth. And these were things only the US does, and we all look up to them. But over the last 10 years to 15 years, the number of students that China has actually sent into the technology and engineering schools in the US is amazing. If you look at the graphs and the infographic, Africa's numbers have remained consistent over the last 60 years. And so our percentage is just 5%. Okay. So 5% of all international students in the US are from Africa. Meanwhile, 52% are from India and China. Mm-hmm. So no wonder India can land a probe on the moon today. They've done it. Okay. We haven't done it. So we need to invest. We need to be deliberate. We need to accelerate. And
I see that, King Solomon, you had the highest mark in the world for the Cambridge International A-Level Information Technology exam.
Yeah.
In June 2023.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What are you doing now?
I'm studying aerospace engineering at Georgia Institute of Technology. Yeah.
Okay. So at least you're doing something. You're practicing what you're talking about now. But more, we'd have to invest more in that. Anything you want to say finally, Ken Solomon?
I want to say to some of the kids that are listening today
Sure.
on their way to school, or their parents who are listening as well, that things are possible because we set our minds to it. And you give to the world and the world gives back to you. So reach for your dreams, go for your interests, and if we invest together, if we come together with a common sense of national growth, of nationhood as well, we will be able to achieve anything we set our minds to as a country and put ourselves on the map.
I like the fact that you talk about if we invest together. It means all of us would have a role to play.
Right.
Bright, anything you want to say finally?
Just to say thank you to the Almighty. Thank you to family and friends. It takes a village, as they say. Thank you for the support, all the institutions he has been through, church, school, the U.S. Embassy for granting his visa to get to Georgia Tech on time, to start his classes on time. And so let's continue to collaborate internationally and locally. And it's possible that we achieve our dreams and secure a better future for the next generation.
Thank you very much, Bright Lajakbo, who's technology consultant, and King Solomon Lajakbo, who was the overall best A-level student 2023 in information technology, currently at the Georgia Institute of Technology. Thank you very much for passing by. Stay with us, more after these.
When you dream big.
as big as the ocean blue. When you dream it might come true. But when you dream big.
Everyone is running to Bills. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with acquiring any of our loan facilities. For whoever you are and whatever you're doing, Bills has a product for you. No susu, no deposits. All you need is your Ghana card. Call 0302-200-390 or 0596-928-33 today and live a bill-free life. Bills Microcredit is licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
It's a First Thursday special treat at Achimota Retail Center every first Thursday of the month. Let's take your first Thursday of the month to a whole new level. Join us for a terrific outdoor movie night in July, Get Fit with ALC in August, Bingo or Quiz Night in September, Karaoke in October, Fashion event in November, and Open Air Jam with DJs and Hype Men in December. It's going to be an amazing experience you won't want to miss. You will also get to enjoy discounts on pizza from Pizza Inn. Buy one, get one free. Come and enjoy an unforgettable time with us every first Thursday at ALC at Shimota Retail Center. And your vibes in
that you have missed some vaccinations.
I know, Mamines, but sometimes it's hard to keep track of all the vaccinations, and work and other commitments also affect us.
But it is important to keep to the schedule to ensure the best protection for your child. If you miss an appointment, don't worry. You can always schedule another appointment. But please, do well to bring in for vaccination at the set times or not too long after the date, okay?
We have the responsibility to ensure that our children grow and develop properly.
You can set a reminder on your phone to help you remember the dates, or use a calendar on the fridge to mark the dates of your child's vaccination.
These are really good ideas. From now on, we will make sure to keep to the schedule.
Staying on track with your child's vaccination schedule is a vital part of ensuring their health and well-being. Talk to your healthcare provider to make sure your child is up to date and protected from vaccine-preventable diseases.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, and partners.
At the peak of her career, she slapped with the worst nightmare of her life. Faced with her biggest decision ever, a strange anonymous caller into a radio show hurls events into an unimaginable turn. This July, Covenances in the Pants of a Woman is coming back. By popular request, Scribe Productions in partnership with Joy FM presents Ghana's first ever original musical on rape. In the Pants of a Woman shows on Saturday, 20th July 2024 at the National Theatre. First show 3 p.m. Second show 7 p.m. Rate is 150 Ghana cedis single, 250 Ghana cedis double, and 650 Ghana cedis for buddies of 5. Dial *844*300# to grab your tickets now. Contact 054-609-8082. Sponsors: Foodstuff Home, Curves and Brushes, Timex Printech, and Sweet Melodies FM.
So do you like it playing?
I loved it.
Out of 1 to 10.
Oh, 10.
Get your tickets now. In the Pants of a Woman.
Coffee in your cup. Enjoy on the set. The super.
A card that can change your story with 55 days interest-free credit, minimum payment of only 5% of the total spent balance, discounts up to 40% from its alliance partners. Does your card give you the opportunity to win 40,000 Ghana cedis a month? Well, an ABSA card can change your story. Watch out for new promotions regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
So let me tell you what, for a subscription fee of just 25 Ghana cedis, you can do, because you can sign on to a health subscription plan that gets you access to unlimited in-store consultations with qualified healthcare professionals and over 160 covered medications and tests at participating pharmacies in the Ablekuma, Sakam, and Dansuman, Mamprobi, Kasua townships. And the favorite part is there's a dedicated nurse at the Muti pharmacy who can teleconference the doctor when you need it, so you can access the best consultation services. And to get this great product, all you have to do is to download the Ayoba app and sign up today with your Momo account. Take charge of your health conveniently and affordably. Sign up for Multiplus powered by MTN today.
Now get ready for Evolve Ghana. This is a 2-day youth-led event at the University of Professional Studies here in Accra. This is from tomorrow to the Wednesday, of course, two days, 2nd and 3rd. July 2024, with the theme Unlocking Market Opportunities, Accelerating Youth-Led Innovations. This event runs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on both days. The 2 days brings you a mass open market where you can engage with and support young entrepreneurs showcasing their creative products. This is your chance to network, learn and engage with young entrepreneurs in a meaningful conversation that impacts the future of young people in Ghana. All that you need to do is call this number to find out more. 05939712266. Evolve Ghana is a MasterCard Foundation policy and thought leadership series on dignified and fulfilling work.
Okay, I think I'll be there on Wednesday.
All right, now go to kingdomstoreonline.com for the best quality stuff from Kingdom Books and Stationery. You can pay via Momo across all networks. You get free delivery if you're in Accra or Tema. Terms and conditions apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
One of the most heartbreaking things that could ever happen to you is finding out that the paper you used to wrap your hot, spicy kilewille is the CV you submitted for a job yesterday. I beg, don't wait till this happens to you. ALX, Africa's leading tech training provider, has a range of tech courses to help you get the X factor and get ahead in this competitive world of work. Whether you're a full-time employee, a housewife who's looking forward to rejoining the workforce, or a fresh out of school graduate, there's a place for you at ALX. You can take any of their 6 to 12-month tech course in AWS Cloud Computing, Salesforce Administration, Data Analytics, Data Science, Front-End Web Development, and Back-End Web Development. The choice is yours. Just search ALX Ghana online to apply. Your future self will thank you. Apply today. ALX, do hard things.
Now, stressed about all your cleaning needs, right? Worry no more. Dance World Services is your one-stop shop because of Koji Hansen. That meets all your commercial and residential cleaning needs, from pest control, janitorial and house cleaning to event cleaning and waste management and carpet and sofa, etc. Whether at home or work, we understand that this is how haptic cleaning should be done. Coupled with your busy lifestyle, really, it will be difficult for you to do all. We've got great news for you. Dance World Environmental and Facility Management Services has got you covered. We excel in whatever we do, leaving you beyond expectation. Locate us at Excel House opposite Regimental Estate, Nungwa Barrier, or call 03029055538 or 055-572-2361. Dance World Services, beyond expectation.
All right, thank you so much for listening. We're back tomorrow with more, but don't forget you can listen and watch your favorite programs on Joy FM, Joy News, Joy Prime, Love FM, and Hits FM through the YouTube channels and all major podcast streaming platforms. Stay updated with the latest news on myjoyonline.com, the website and app, and follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok for all the entertainment and informative stories. My name is Kojo Yankson. I'm the morning man. Have a good one.